I don't have any information on this next story called Lady in the Way.
You girls, stop that and hurry up. You know I've got to get you to school by 8:30 this morning. Oh, I'm sorry about this, Tony.
Oh, don't be silly, Jane.
Really? All those alarm clocks and still we oversleep. Alan's the only one who can ever be depended on to get people up in this household.
Oh, forget it.
But when you're being so kind...
Look, you've got to be in Sydney by 9 sharp and you haven't got the car. What kind of neighbour would I be if I...
Kirsty! Out of there in 2 minutes or I'm coming in. It's just their father being away, Tony, truly. Every time he goes off on a trip...
Jane, it's all right.
It's only a stupid bit of lawyer's business that's dragging me into town first thing. Stuff about the house in England.
Detective Inspector Lukakis?
That's me.
Bill Ross, motel manager.
Where's the meat?
The body's in apartment 5, Inspector. Through the arch there. Straight suicide by the looks.
What was he, tourist or something?
Nah, businessman. Up here in the mountains on a job. Booked into the motel last night.
What time did he kick it?
The 2 people heard a bang around 3 a.m. Thought it was a car backfire.
So have we got time for breakfast?
Of course you've got time for breakfast. Don't you Brits have priorities like ordinary people?
Paula, didn't I say that you...
No! That's the kettle!
Oh, if we stay on in Australia, you know, Tony, I'll have to get another car. Alan's always having to dash here and there for the firm. I can't be dependent on friends forever.
What's the grand plan exactly?
Well, Alan's contract comes up for review in April. Well, I've been here 6 months then, so it could mean visas all over again, renewed work permits.
Or you could emigrate.
No, not that, I think. Australia's a wonderful country, Tony, and we've loved our time here. But at heart, I'm just a turgid old English rose, I'm afraid, wilting so far away from the garden wall.
You've kept your English rose complexion too. Do you realise all that peaches and cream out here amounts to an unfair advantage?
Mum, look what Paula did to me.
Kirsty, is this the work of a gang this morning? That's a clean blouse.
She waited till I got my uniform on and then splashed as hard
Look,
as...
go and get another one from the airing cupboard. Move.
But it wasn't me.
Move!
And there's even a suicide note left in the portable typewriter there. It all looks like something to do with money and a Sheila.
Who was he?
Name of Dacre, accountant with the Singh Corporation.
The Singh Corporation? But where's... Dear God.
Yeah, not a pretty sight.
Shotgun, point-blank range.
Yeah, gun in here, him out on the patio. How does that figure?
Chicken on the block, mate.
Eh?
You know, all over the barnyard till someone told the stupid chook it hadn't got a head anymore. Bloody suicide cases.
Come on, in Tony's car. And keep off Paula's feet, Kirsty. They
She
only
turned
gave
the
her
shower on me,
2.
didn't she?
I didn't. It was you.
Just get in. Oh, I don't know why I bother with Alan away.
Just one of those mornings, Jane. Domestic bliss. What we got married for.
Our traditional marriages in Australia are any less ghastly than our English ones, Tony.
Come again.
Be surprised. After all, Hereford and Hampshire rule the world.
Are you talking to me, or am I just catching something as I go by on the radio dial?
I'm just thinking of all the things we Brits are supposed to have been responsible for out here. Convict oppression, colonial carry-on, middle-class supremacy. Good thing we kept the peaches and cream complexion, eh? Otherwise there wouldn't be a single thing left you could respect us for.
And all those cigarette butts stubbed out around the room. Heavy smoker.
What's this?
Eh?
It's in the wastepaper basket. Looks like... Yeah, photograph. Well, good-looking dame. Not the woman in the case, though.
Uh-huh. What makes you say that?
Name in the suicide note's different. Well, look. Written across the bottom of the photo.
To my darling Alan, at home, offshoring the flag in foreign parts, always and everywhere your loving Jane.
Through London streets I oft have strayed, but now I am a convict maid. In innocence I once did live, in all the joy that peace could give. But sin my...
Lady in the Way by Bruce Stewart, with Karen Ford as Jane Dacre.
The judge did me a dress, which filled with pain my aching breast. To Botany Bay I'll be conveyed, for 7 years a convict maid. For 7 years, oh how I've sighed, while my poor mother loudly cried. My lover wept, and thus he said, may God be with my convict maid.
Mrs. Dacre?
Yes, Inspector. Do carry on.
Look, I mean...
Please, just continue.
But I don't have to ask you questions right now. This has been a hell of a shock for you. Why don't I come back when...
Believe me, Inspector
Lukakis.
Isn't that Greek?
My folks came out from Thessaloniki just after the war, yeah. I don't know what I am. Conceived there, born here.
The Polyglot Society, of course.
Eh?
Australia. All Germans, Greeks and Italians these days, also Malays and Vietnamese. Us Brits are a thing of the past.
Maybe we should...
It's just the girls. Telling 2 little girls who adore their daddy that he won't be coming home anymore.
Look, why don't you...
Are you married, Inspector Lukakis?
Married? Me? No.
Well, it's a curious thing when your partner, surprisingly, quite without warning, commits suicide. You start thinking perhaps...
There was this note typed out on his portable. It said...
Oh, yes, you told me all about the suicide note. Some kind of trouble about money, it seems. A mysterious fancy woman. Well, I certainly don't believe that.
I'll be getting along now, Mrs. Dacre.
You don't have to go on my account. I'm as right as rain.
Yeah, but a lot to do, you know. Reports to be knocked out, all that.
I knew my husband, Inspector. I did. I'm only trying to save...
I'll see myself out. Take it easy now, Mrs. Dacre.
God damn it. There couldn't have been a fancy woman. No, there couldn't have been.
Mum?
Kirsty.
What's going on, Mum?
What's the matter?
You two, you didn't hear what that man was saying to me, did you? You weren't eavesdropping?
No.
We weren't, Mum. Honest.
Something's up, isn't it, Mum?
Oh, my dears. Hereford and Hampshire. The stiff upper lip British phlegm. Why did we ever think all that remotely necessary? What gave us the idea we could sell it to more intelligent races? Oh, come here. Come as close as you can, my darlings, my darling.
Oh, Mum.
Oh, Mummy.
It's just us now. Us in this strange land, where our forebears seem to have let us down a bit. But they survived. And so will we, in spite of everything you hear. Just us. Is this the place?
Jane, now is this sensible?
This is the courthouse?
The funeral was ordeal enough for you. If on top of
I'm
that...
attending the inquest, Tony. I've got to find out why they're saying these things about Alan. That he killed himself, that there was someone else. What is this town anyway? All cows?
Oh, Blue Mountains Railhead. Yes, they drive the stock down from the stations.
Mrs. Dacre? Is it Mrs. Dacre?
I beg your pardon?
Forgive me, Mrs. Dacre. I am John Singh.
Singh? Oh, you mean the Singh Corporation, the...
Your husband was in my employ, yes. Please accept my sincerest sympathies. It is a terrible business. Terrible.
But
you have children, I believe.
2. Kirsty and Paula, but...
It must be terrible for your children, too. I did not know your husband very well. In such a large corporation, it is difficult for me as manager to know everyone. But believe me, if there is anything I can do...
Right, time we were getting inside, I reckon, John.
Ah, perhaps you know Mr. Marcus?
Mr. Marcus?
Mrs. Dacre.
Mrs. Dacre? Oh, look, Mrs. Dacre, this is tough for you. I reckon I know just how tough. I mean, I'm a family man too.
I see.
Mr. Marcus is a pastoralist and grazier, Mrs. Dacre. He is also closely connected with the project your husband was costing for us at the time of... when he unhappily...
What's happened has happened, Mrs. Dacre. It's a rotten business, but you just got to think of it as behind you. Ancient history. Honest. Oh, you don't mind me talking to you like that, do you? In a bad spot, you need to concentrate on what's positive. Things like your family. Hang on to that, why not? Fair go. Nobody can really hurt you while there's still a family.
I suppose not, of course.
Dad? Dad, I found a lolly bar around the back. Beaut one. They got violet crumble bars, everything.
now, Billy,
violet
boy,
crumble, that's my favourite. And I'm being good, aren't I? Good as anything. You said that if I always did what you told me and I never...
All right, you twist the juice out of a fence post, you. Now, look, there's $1.
Thanks, Dad.
Go and get yourself a violet crumble.
Oh, they're great, violet crumble, my best lolly.
Billy boy, Mrs. Dacre, my only son. But you don't want to take too much notice of him. He's just, 17.6 in the pound, as they used to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Little family tragedy, eh? Yeah. Sort of tragedy only the family can handle. Family that counts in a bad spot.
Yes.
Or John...
Yes, of course. And do not forget that I wish to help Mrs. Dacre. If there is anything that I can do, you must not be afraid to ask me. A good day, madam.
Well, the odd couple, Tony.
What's that, Jane?
Marks and Spencer. More like Wishy-Washy and Ebenezer. Oh, dear. British standards of reference. Not likely to get me far in the Antipodes.
And the shotgun, Detective Inspector Lukakis? What is known about that?
Property of the deceased, sir, purchased from Sporting Supplies of Chatswood in November 1985. Fingerprint tests reveal that no one but the deceased could have touched the stock and barrel of the weapon.
I see. And did you make any other discoveries relative to the incident?
There was a note, sir.
A note?
Yes, sir. The deceased had a portable typewriter with him, and there was a note in this. You'll find it entered as Exhibit B.
May we have the text, please?
I can't go on. I will never pay back what I have taken. It was all for Gloria. God forgive me.
Is all this meant to be serious, Tony?
I must also
Am I
refer you
expected
to
to just
Exhibit
sit here and
C,
let it bounce
sir.
off me without a murmur?
Jane,
Helen wasn't your can't
This
go
is a
on
bundle
type.
of documents
And
collected
as
as
for
a result of
Gloria,
investigations into material found in the deceased's briefcase. They show that the deceased, an accountant with a Singh Corporation, had for some time been systematically embezzling money from the company and placing it in a bank account under an assumed name. The name chosen was Junipero Fioretti.
I beg your pardon?
Junipero Fioretti.
No, that's outrageous.
Jane!
Order!
Honestly, it is. My husband Alan wasn't the sort to embezzle from his employers.
And Mrs. Dacre, please.
Dear me, if he wanted a false name, it would have been Bill Phipps or Bert Prendergast. He wouldn't have gone for some extraordinary Italian...
Stop this!
Gloria, may I...
Sit down!
But who is she? Who...
Mrs. Dacre, I am aware that this is a matter fraught with difficulty for you. However, I will not tolerate outbursts. I ask you to remember it. So, Detective Inspector, what else did your investigations reveal, please?
I still have to deal with the contents of the wastepaper basket, sir, and the large number of cigarette butts we found.
Do so.
In addition to the expected rubbish in the wastepaper basket, there was a photograph, sir.
What photograph was that?
It was a small portrait, sir, of the kind people frequently carry in a wallet or handbag. It was of the deceased's wife, sir, and it had been crumpled up.
Jane.
As for the cigarette butts, there were 25 in all, stuffed out in various parts of the motel room, burned to irregular lengths and hastily extinguished.
So it is a 10-year plan.
What do you mean by that exactly, Mr. Singh?
Eventually, the Singh Corporation will construct in the area the largest mountain recreational facility in the Southern Hemisphere. But for the moment, we are beginning with this holiday village of 25 chalets. This was the part of our project that the deceased was costing for us.
Yes, well, evidence has been produced, Mr. Singh, to show that Mr. Dacre had been embezzling from the corporation. Apparently some $50,000 had been acquired, a considerable sum. Had your accounts department no indication of any such irregularity?
My parent company is in Hong Kong. In Asia, we have perhaps different ideas about the relationship of an employee. If Mr. Dacre was in trouble of some kind, well, we should have been able to help him. To lie, to die for money, that is unfortunate.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. You may stand down.
I wonder, would butter melt in his mouth, Tony?
Jane, now that you're feeling better, perhaps we should just...
Wishy-washy. Alan's supposed to have been into him for a small fortune, and yet he's hardly making a noise.
I call Gloria...
I only asked, does it make sense? And then this business of this... Wait a minute, did he just say Gloria? He did. But it isn't. I mean, it can't be.
You are Gloria Luton?
I am.
You reside at 23 Argyle Street, Mossman, and you are the director of the Radiant Life Health Studio.
I am.
Kindly read the card.
I swear...
This is Alan's fancy woman, they're telling me. But she's nearly 6 feet tall. And blonde. So terribly blonde.
So help me God.
Miss Luton, I understand that you approached the police last night of your own accord.
Yes. Yes, that's right. I did. I'd heard the shocking news about poor Alan, and for some time wondered what I should do about it. And at last I decided I had a duty.
You were acquainted with the late Mr. Dacre, then?
It was a little more than that. Yes. We were...
Yes, Miss Luton?
I'm sorry. This isn't very easy for me. I understand Alan's wife is present today. I didn't count on that.
Are you trying to tell us that you and Mr. Dacre were, in fact, very close?
Yes. Yes, that's right.
That you were lovers?
Yes.
This is Alan's fancy woman.
Men. Talk about dark horses.
Dark horses? She's an Amazon.
Well, I didn't know he was married. Well, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it happens to be the truth. And I thought he was wealthy. Well, otherwise I'd never have taken a penny from him.
We seem to be getting a little ahead of ourselves, I think.
No. It's the only way I can say things like this, straight out. I'm no dirty little gold digger. All this makes me
Miss
look...
Luton.
I loved Alan. Thought I loved him. So when he wanted to help me, it seemed only natural to take the money he offered. To pay for the studio, you see. I wanted the studio desperately. Had done for years and... Oh, sorry.
Now, let us get this straight. You are saying Mr. Dacre offered you financial help in relation to a studio. What studio?
The Radiant Life Health Studio. I'm a tutor. Aerobics.
And this is the concern of which you are currently director?
Yes.
And you are telling us Mr. Dacre financed you into it?
Yes.
What figure did he provide you with?
Well, it wasn't all at the one time, but eventually... $50,000.
No!
Mrs. Dacre!
I don't believe a word of it. Don't you see what she's saying? That Alan stole that money from the Singh Corporation just for her?
Look, I'm sorry. Honest, Mrs. Dacre.
Will you please stop
I
this?
wouldn't have done that. Is everybody here a bit soft or something? Didn't anybody know Alan?
Look, if you do
I
not...
was about his mark where women are concerned.
If you do
I
not
was.
stop wasting the time of
Depressing
this
if you like,
court...
But there it is. The wilder shores of love were somewhere else as far as he was concerned. He liked something on time with the meals and the clean shirt and just about up to a romp in a bubble bath once in a way. Not this Varumchka.
Usher, remove that woman from the court.
But it's true. Then why don't you listen?
Please.
Something's
At
wrong
once.
here. We're wrong. Look, don't you understand?
Now, I regret that, but I had no choice. If there are any further disturbances, I shall suspend proceedings altogether.
So I hope you're satisfied. Honest, Jane, what on earth did you think you were doing?
It's all crazy, Tony, crazy.
You simply shouldn't have come today. I tried to talk you out of it, didn't I? Now have your tea and
Mrs. Dacre. Joe Marcus, Mrs. Dacre. Look, I'm sorry you're taking this all so bad.
Mr. Marcus.
I understand how tough it is for you. Oh, I said before, didn't I? But what I wanted to ask you was, how about coming up to my station for a while? To rest and recuperate. Manjara.
What?
Well, you and the kids. Oh, my wife Marge would be tickled pink to have you. And she's a beaut place for getting away from things, Manjara. Isn't she, Billy boy?
You bet, Mrs. Dacre. Manjara's a beaut place. You come.
This is extraordinary. Well, I know you Aussies are generous to a fault and don't believe you're even being nice unless you overwhelm people with hospitality, but there've got to be limits. Why should you want to invite me to your place, Mr. Marcus? You don't know me. I'm not even properly aware of what your connection with my husband may have been.
Oh, I'm just a major investment in the mountain holiday development, that's all. John Singh wanted me along today in case the financial structure got queried. But, it's a fair dinkum offer, Mrs. Dacre, no strings. I mean, I like the look of you and you're in need of help.
How is that again?
Well, I mean, the way you're going on is...
Acting certifiable, you mean? A poor mad woman running off at the mouth saying everything's up the pole, wrong.
Well,
Yet what if it is, Mr. Marcus? What if everybody else has somehow got a cockeyed view of what's going on and I'm the only one who's seeing straight? It could be not me so much as the people around me who need help.
Jane, look, I think you've got
Inspector Lukakis said cigarette butts were stubbed out all over the room, right? 25 of them. Well, that couldn't have been Alan. Alan had given up smoking 3 years ago.
Hey.
He did it for the girls, made up his mind that he had no business playing about with his health and life when he had 2 daughters. No, I don't need any help. Thank you very much, Mr. Marcus. Tony, come on.
Ah, yes, Jane. Now keep it
But
cool.
what about Manjaro? Look, you'd love it up there, I tell you straight. Horses for the kids, swimming. Yeah. Poor lady, Billy boy. She's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you bet that lady's in a lot of trouble.
Like I always taught you, when you meet people in trouble, you don't just leave it at that.
No.
You have a go at changing things, making them different.
You bet that. Poor lady. Lady in a lot of trouble.
Alan? Alan, this is stupid, I know. I mean me here by your grave, my love, talking to you as though you were just in the next room. But that's the way it's been lately, I'm afraid, my dear. I do all kinds of daft things. Say, even dafter ones. I hope you approve of this churchyard, Alan. It's beautiful. Almost English, wouldn't you have said? Oak trees. Even a lich gate over there. It's astonishing. When they first came out to Australia, the pioneers worked to reproduce exactly what they'd left behind. Yes. Believing they were to be exiles forever. The way you are now. I'm right about you, though, aren't I, Alan? You wouldn't have embezzled that money. Not you, an old boy of Childsmead. Oh, and as for Gloria, well, really, she couldn't have been your type, could she? I mean, well, I didn't know everything about you, I'm well aware, but you had good taste. Whatever your failings in other ways, and a creature like that, a strapping, overbearing, gorgeous creature like that. Oh, could I have been wrong about you then, Alan? Were you the sort who could rob, lie, chase after gym mistresses, even do yourself in when the going got too tough? Oh, dear. That's where it's all so grim, you see. So desperately grim. Well, the simple fact is, I'm not sure of anything anymore. No. Well, not even why I'm driving myself round the bend to discover something that I may not remotely want to know. Oh, Alan. Now we're going to have a lovely day at school today, aren't we?
Yes, Mum.
Yes, Mum.
Darlings, I've told you, we've got to get on with life. We must, all of us.
Yes, Mum.
We know, Mum.
Daddy wouldn't have wanted us to mope. Daddy would have wanted us to, well, yes, set an example. We're a long way from home. We have responsibilities to the people around us.
Mum, a girl at school said... Said
what, Kirsty?
She said that when Daddy died, was she...
Well, we won't listen to what girls at school say, Kirsty. Well, they don't mean to be unkind. They just don't understand. Not the way we do. Always will, whatever other people say. Now come on, out of the car, and I'll see you across the road. Is it basketball today? Oh, no, of course not. That's Thursday.
Today we've got double maths, 2 periods. I hate maths.
When you're the first woman chancellor...
Mum, that car!
Oh, get out of the way! Jump! Kirsty! Paula, are you all right?
I just missed us. Driver wasn't looking where he was going.
Okay, then. What happened?
Wasn't he, Kirsty? Are you sure of that? What if he was? I tell you, someone tried to kill us.
Now, Mrs.
A
Dacre.
big black car with darkened windows coming right at us, Inspector Lukakis.
Did you get the number?
Oh, of course not.
Then what are we supposed to do about it? Look, there are a lot of cowboys on the road. We brought in the compulsory breathalyzer a year or two back, but it hasn't made all that much difference. Australians are just hell drivers.
I know someone was trying to kill my daughters and me.
For Pete's sake, why?
Because I know too much?
Come again?
Oh, no, I don't mean that. What I mean is, well, I don't know nearly enough yet, but I'm working on it, and I'm not likely to stop, am I? So someone could reckon me a threat. I'm talking about my husband's death.
Your husband's death. Mrs. Dacre, if you'd stayed till the end of the inquest that time, you'd have heard that it found out
That
your
Alan took his own life to avoid the consequences of crime. Yes, I know all about that, but I just don't happen to believe it.
You can't pick and choose what you're going to believe in things like that.
Alan didn't smoke, yet you found all those cigarette butts.
The smokes. Oh, boy. Yes, Joe Marcus told me you'd been sounding off about them.
Mr. Marcus? You spoke to Mr. Marcus?
He was worried about you. He spoke to me. Look, you're up a gum tree about all that. Your husband was going to kill himself that night. Well, a man doesn't think straight when he's got to that stage. He'll grab at anything he thinks will help him.
What sort of cigarettes were they Alan was supposed to have smoked in that motel room, Inspector?
What sort?
The brand.
What the hell has the brand got to do with anything?
Well, didn't you notice?
John Martin's. Yeah, that's right. They were John Martin's.
John Martin's? I've never heard of them.
Mrs. Dacre, what's all this about?
All about?
Look, can't you come to terms? Is that it?
Come to terms with what? My husband's death?
His suicide.
Alan didn't commit suicide.
Oh, split me. If he didn't, somebody else must have killed him. So that means it must have been murder.
Yes.
Well, who then? Why? Why weren't there any other fingerprints? Why no evidence of a third party? Contributory testimony from people in the other motel rooms?
I don't know. Or perhaps I hope those were the sort of riddles detective inspectors of police were supposed to solve.
Look, it's different here, you know? Australia's different from England.
I've noticed.
They're more different than that. I mean, we don't really go along with the old pommy ways anymore. We've got our own style.
What are you talking about, Inspector? I thought you were supposed to be Greek.
I'm still an Aussie. And every Aussie these days is a bit of a pom basher, I reckon.
Well...
You gave us the runaround in the old days, you see. You rule the roost. We grew out of that. We got sick of cracking rocks around Miller's Point.
That was 200 years ago, for goodness sake.
There's other things since they go on about. Gallipoli, maybe. Singapore. It's just you need to wake up to that, Mrs. Dacre. On the chain gangs these days, the overseers aren't Brits anymore, so things are different.
Jane, do you want coffee? I was just going to make...
Oh, Tony, yes, thank goodness you come over. Come in, come in. But... Look, this letter, it just arrived, right? Buff envelope addressed to me. Now, I want you to witness that it's still sealed and I'm opening it in your presence.
Witness? What on earth? Why? Hey, it looks like Gina's money.
How much?
$50 bills. 1, 2, 3, 4, $500.
Bang on. Any notes with it?
None that I can see.
Well... An envelope just the same arrived a week ago, also containing $500, also enclosing no note.
Somebody's sending you money, Jane.
That's what I thought too.
But why?
Who can tell? So that I can purchase my ticket back to the old Dart? Get myself a game of Trivial Pursuits and stop irritating folk around the convict barracks?
Look,
there is a mystery about Alan's death, Tony, a tremendous mystery. I told you about Inspector Lukakis suddenly turning cagey on me, didn't I?
About the brand of cigarettes in the motel room, Jane.
Is it possible to check up on those cigarettes, do you think?
John Martin's?
Alan's supposed to have bought them on impulse, yet they're apparently a bit rare.
My sister Linda plays Scrabble every week with a woman who's the wife of a tobacco executive. Maybe she
I would be grateful, Tony. It's the only lead I've got, if it is a lead. So, these envelopes stuffed with currency. Well, where they may be coming from.
Isn't there a postmark?
Just a blur. It was the same on the other envelope, too.
No, wait a minute. I can make that out. The postmark reads the Haymarket.
Well, how did you work that one out?
Oh, you need to get used to the Australian Post Office, Jane. There are obliterations, indecipherable stains and legible smudges. This is clearly a legible smudge.
But the Haymarket's a place in London.
No, there's a Haymarket in Sydney too. You know, down the bottom of George Street towards Central. Just behind it, there's Paddy's Market.
Oh, and of course! Oh, how could I have been so stupid? Chinatown!
Mrs. Dacre!
Mr. Singh, sorry for sending in that I was the Customs and Excise Office, but I had to be certain of getting you out of your private dining room. I haven't spoiled a gourmet meal.
What do you want? This is
Mr. Singh, why are you sending me money?
I beg your pardon?
$1,000 so far, by my count.
I do not know what you are speaking of. Now, please.
I'll shout it all over the restaurant. Give your expensive friends inside a better turn than this Asian Madonna.
Mrs. Dacre.
Mr. Singh is foisting money on me. An innocent English lady stranded on the other side of the world. What can he possibly...
A moment. Perhaps, this room. Yes, if you please. Money. This is ridiculous. Why on earth should I be sending you money?
No, that's what I'm asking you.
Mrs. Dacre, I am sorry for your situation. Did I not already explain that to you? You have children. You have suffered much. I am a wealthy man.
And so you think it only right that you should aid me secretly?
I merely hoped...
Despite having had so much ripped off you by Junipero Fioretti.
What?
Mr. Singh, don't you like money?
Like it?
Well, you don't like people lying and dying for the stuff. You get all upset when somebody under your paternal care sells out to it. Is this building yours too, Mr. Singh?
You suspect me? Yes, of course. This is the case.
Suspect you?
You think me a hypocrite, a whited sepulchre.
Goodness.
Money, Mrs. Dacre, is a drug.
Ah.
Once you get the habit, you cannot break it. Oh, you think perhaps you are different, but nobody is. Money not only begets money, it worries and frets at a man until he has acquired ever more money. It is evil. The misfortune of my life is perhaps that I was ever introduced to this drug.
Sooner shall a camel pass through the eye of a needle than that a rich man should end...
Please, I do not wish...
Just another bit from the good book, Mr. Singh. To go along with the whited sepulchre. What's it all about exactly? You weren't born in Australia, I think.
No. No, I am not Australian. I was born in Shanghai. When the revolution came, I found myself in political trouble. So I escaped to Australia. But after a time here, I went back to mainland China.
Why, if they were after you?
I was a great fool, yes. That is clear now. They captured me.
What happened?
It was a bad time. They tortured me, Mrs. Dacre, and I was tested. Yes, tested. And then, miraculously, I was free again. I got away to Hong Kong, and I swore I would never return to mainland China or to the undrugged person I had left behind there.
Mr. Singh, how well do you know your business friend, Mr. Marcus?
Marcus? Why, he is an associate in certain enterprises, that is all.
I'm going up to Munjara next week to see him. He invited me a little while ago, but I haven't got around to taking him up on it until now. Another rich man there, Mr. Singh. Also troubled about... What was it that was harder than the camel passing through the eye of the needle again? Ah, yes. Entering the kingdom of heaven.
Bless you, we want more iron.
It's Daphne.
It's marvellous, marvellous, Mr. Marcus. I haven't laughed like that in such a long time. I thought they might never again.
Billy Boy will look after him too. He's good in the pool. I trained him myself.
Billy Boy's not unteachable then?
Oh, no fear. You get the hang of most things. Can handle farm equipment, that. Can even drive a car.
Really?
As long as I teach him. Yeah, that's the funny part. He can do practically anything as long as it's me gets him to do it. Just like a big pup, eh? Waiting on his master's voice.
The tea.
Oh, my wife's brought us our tea, Mrs. Dacre. Come on, over by the trees.
It's a beautiful place here, Mr. Marcus. Beautiful. You've made it a picture.
500,000 acres of nothing all this was when I picked it up. When I moved the family here, got stuck in and didn't take no for an answer. Isn't that right, Marge?
What's that, Joe?
I say I got your family and mine into a conglomerate, moved us all up from the city, built this place from scratch.
You certainly did, Joe. Take milk in your tea, Mrs. Dacre.
Oh, please.
Right and proper when it's a unified effort like that, I reckon. Way it should be. A man and his family beating the bush at its own game. Winning.
Yes.
You don't smoke booze or gamble, I hope, do you, Mrs. Dacre?
I beg your pardon.
Always get a rise out of people with that one, don't I, Marge?
What Joe means is you won't find tobacco, drink or the racing acceptances at Munjara, Mrs. Dacre. He's dead nuts on all that. Says it just wastes instead of earns, threatens the family. So we don't bother with it. Sugar?
No, thank you.
I'll take this orange juice down to the kids.
Oh, no, wait, I'll do that. Make sure there isn't any gin in it, eh? Just you go ahead with the tea, Mrs. Dacre. Don't hang on for me.
Yeah, well, I reckon I'll get back up the house. Those rock cakes are okay if you like that sort of thing. I just made them.
But aren't you going to have tea with us too, Mrs. Marcus?
Me?
Yes.
No, I've got things to do.
Oh, no, wait, please. You make me feel...
Yeah?
Ever since I arrived... Look, I don't need people running after me. I hate being a burden.
You do, eh?
Yes. I'm sorry, but it's honestly about time I said it.
You don't want to worry too much about me. I'm just a sour old lemon these days.
Oh, goodness me, why?
Joe's guests. Nothing much to do with me, it seems. The way this place isn't...
But Mrs. Marcus, this is a wonderful place.
Manjara? Yeah, barely cuts even.
I'm sorry?
We all just have to work our tails off, and for nothing. Joe's real money comes from investments, business deals. I heard about you, Mrs. Dacre. What happened about your husband and that. Must be crook, I'm sorry.
Thank you. I hope I'm getting over it now.
You need to watch it a bit with Joe, you know.
I'm sorry?
When we first married, well, we were just a couple of Melbourne kids. He'd trained in accountancy, was going places. But then, somewhere along the line, he got this idea he had to be something else. A big man, the Aussie way. Kingpin on the land, you know. His kith and kin got dragged into it, whether they liked it or not. And Joe started out to be Captain MacArthur, no matter what the cost.
So?
I'm just telling you, Mrs. Dacre. You need to watch it a bit with him.
Oh, Billy Boy's had enough of the pool. But your girls still want to go on swimming, Mrs. Dacre.
Oh, they'll be all right. They're water babies.
Come on up the house then, Billy Boy. I'll give you clean clothes.
You're still in a lot of trouble, Mrs. Dacre.
What was that, Billy?
Well, Dad said...
Oh, all right, Billy Boy, all right. Now, never mind for now. Just go on after your mother.
Well, yeah, Dad. Yeah, you bet.
Sorry, Mrs. Dacre. I told him he'd had a bad break and he remembers it. Amazing what sticks in his head sometimes.
Mr. Marcus, what exactly were you to the property development my husband was working on at the time that he died?
Eh?
All I know about it is that it was a holiday village in the mountains which the Singh Corporation was financing, but with you as principal investor, or rather one of your companies, Mindy Investments.
Hey, how do you know about Mindy Investments?
Oh, the public library is a mine of information to the honest inquirer.
You're interested in dull old business stuff, then?
In this case, I'd just like to know. Alan seldom brought his work home.
Then he was a wise man. You bet. A woman shouldn't know too much about what a man's up to when he earns her bread.
Goodness.
Well, it's the way of the world, Mrs. Dacre, isn't it? Look, why don't you just attend to your kids now your man's gone? They're the best thing in your life. What did I get? Not half what you got. Just a lot of relatives who graft on me, a son who can't... Oh, forget it. When are you going back to England, anyway?
England?
Well, yeah, it's about time you got back, isn't it? You can't hang about here forever. You need any help?
I beg your pardon?
Got your fare and that all right? I could see to it if there's trouble. Fair go.
Mr. Singh,
One.
assisted passages back to the UK. Is this the new Australian policy respecting Brits? Immigration in reverse?
Look, you've had a tough trot. I'm worried about you. Now, what else?
I don't know. It's a chill wind I seem to feel blowing under the hot sun, Mr. Marcus. The footsteps that I hear in the dark. Yes. It's as though all I amount to is an obstacle on somebody else's road. A lady in the way. Alan? Alan, this isn't so stupid, I find. Sitting here by your last resting place and chatting to you. There's even a precedent for it. John Wayne, in some movie or other, I've forgotten which. A grizzled old soldier, he was always going back to his wife's grave in the desert to talk things over with her. So I'm not mad, far from it. Same as John Wayne. Anyway, my head's a lot clearer now. There is something fishy going on. And the point about that is that you come out of it as a good deal less than the crook they're trying to make you out to be. Oh, yes, because that's what they're doing, my darling. They're lumbering you with something they've done. In some way, I'm sure of it. But what is it that's really wrong? Who's done what to whom? How do I find out? There remains, of course, Gloria. Now, Alan, I've made up my mind to trust you completely about Gloria. I have, truly. If you actually did let me down, if you played energetic games with that Tarzan's mate... But I've got to call Gloria's bluff. There's no other course open to me now. So don't have behaved like a cad, my love. Don't. I mean... Oh, I'm still in the dark. But I'm trusting my faith more than my doubts. In spite of everything, Alan, in spite of suspected suicide, murder, monkey business, I still have faith in you.
One, two, down. 1, 2, down. Further over than that. I want those palms flat on the floor. Didn't I tell you all this is the sort of exercise that doesn't do you any good unless it hurts? And 1, 2, down. 1, 2, down. What's up, Mrs. Dacre? Finding it too tough for you?
I'll be all right, thank you, Gloria.
Shouldn't really do this sort of exercise unless you're fit. I'd have a right to ask for a doctor's certificate.
How do you know? My doctor didn't tell me to come.
And you aren't getting your hands anywhere near the floor. Try harder, Mrs. What's your name again?
Oh, just call me Tony.
So wake it up, Tony. Now, the body swing, right? I want your fronts right round where your backsides are. And... ready? 2, 3, round. Round, I said. How do you think Jane Fonda got where she is today?
Oh, Jane, I may not make it home. I'd like the Federation chaise longue to go to Anne McElroy at the French class. My sister Linda...
Don't worry, Tony. We'll find it easier tomorrow.
Tomorrow? She talks about coming tomorrow.
I need a shower.
Oh, why are we doing this? What's it gaining? At the risk of permanent disability.
Mrs. Dacre. Now, what's all this about, eh?
I've been feeling run down lately, Gloria. In need of muscle tone.
Don't hand me that. Why are you here? Who put you up to it?
Don't you like me coming to aerobics, Gloria?
What's going on? Can't you see it's...
What?
I don't know. Put a name on it yourself. Bad taste, maybe.
Bad taste?
Tony, would you think me capable of bad taste?
Oh, you, a woman who just kills her friends.
You know what I mean. When I've been your husband's mistress...
Ah, but that's precisely what you haven't been, Gloria.
What?
Have you?
Look...
I don't know why you keep saying you were. Who's persuading you? Who's paying you?
Nobody's paying
Somebody
me.
footed the bill for this studio. It's beautifully equipped. Junipero Fioretti? I hardly think so.
Why don't you just go away? I'm sorry about your husband, I said. But leave me alone.
Oh, but that's just what I'm not going to do, Gloria. You really mustn't judge us rusty old Brits by your gleaming, polished Antipodean standards, you know. We get hold of some disgusting old bone, we just gnaw away at it. Come on, Tony. Shower time.
Huh? Oh.
Shower time.
Won't the undertakers wash the body?
Come on, this one's nice and easy.
Oh.
All you've got to do is try and slide your right leg gently up around your neck.
Right, Tony. Let's get our money's worth.
Spider-Woman, break your heart.
Morning, Gloria.
You're just wasting your time coming back here day after day, you know. I told the truth in court, and I've got nothing to add or take away.
Was it you tried to run me and my girls over, Gloria?
Look.
That's a deep, dark mystery, that one. As mysterious as the Italian connection. Or why you won't admit my poor Alan would simply have been disconcerted being asked to do it on a trampoline.
Put some guts into it, can't you all? Just because it's a slow one doesn't mean it's Sunday afternoon on the
I think we're
beach.
winning, Tony.
I hate to be losing.
Evening, Gloria.
What?
Shall I turn on the light? Nice meal at that restaurant you went to?
How did... This is my flat. How did you get in here?
I told the caretaker of the block that I was your cousin from the UK, and he let me in without a murmur.
Oh, I could duff you up if I wanted to. You know that, don't you?
Ah, but you don't want to.
How do you know?
Because you haven't done it up until now. Underneath that Supergirl exterior, Gloria, I believe you're just a big softie. Or a Barbie doll with biceps. Yes, that's it. For all their outdoor energy and athletic freedom, Australian women often don't seem any more liberated than their pommy sisters, do they?
Why don't you just go back to England and...
Yes. And what? You're hardly making a novel suggestion, I might tell you.
Look, I'd like to help you. I would. Only...
Well?
All right. What if I admitted there is something you ought to know about? Something you can't be told about until... tomorrow morning. Say tomorrow morning. Come to class early.
What's wrong with tonight?
I'm in deep. Can't you understand that? There's money involved. Well, not my money, but big. So before I can talk about anything, I need to be sure I can get out in one piece. I may have to make a fast dash for it.
How do I know this is on the level, Gloria?
Look, I want out. Can't you believe that? I've had enough. Your husband, well, I never even knew him.
Ah. So it was straight lies, all that in court?
Oh, I just said what they told me to say. In deep, I told you. Now go home and leave me to organise things. I'll see you at the studio first thing in the morning.
All right. Till the morning then, Gloria. And thank you.
Don't thank me. Just don't rubbish me when I say I'm sorry for everything that's happened.
Yes. Yes, I think I'm sorry too. Good night.
Good night, Jane. Hello? Get me the boss. Look, stop mucking about. This is urgent. Let me speak to Mr. Singh.
What, Tony? Well, that woman who plays Scrabble with my sister Linda, I told you, She finally asked her husband about those John Martin cigarettes.
Yes, and he said
That they're a very exclusive brand. You practically have to get them on personal order. Expensive, too.
not the sort of cigarette you'd pick up from any old booth, then.
No.
Marvellous. I knew it'd be something like that. I had another bit of interesting information this morning, too.
What's that?
Well, I've been trying to get in touch... Oh, here we are. We can get up to the studio by these back stairs. Gloria's expecting us early.
Oh, Jane, if we find out what you want today, we won't have to do the exercises anymore, will we?
So you mean the bank manager had never met this Junipero Fioretti? No. He told me the whole account had been set up by correspondence. The deposits and withdrawals occurred without anyone ever turning up in person. So whoever Fioretti was, he certainly needn't have been Alan.
But wasn't there something about Alan's handwriting
Oh,
on the
Tony,
documents?
determined crooks could organise that sort of thing. Goodness, what's this?
What?
A notice on the studio door, don't you see? To let.
Jane.
What on earth? Gloria? Gloria? It's Jane. Where are you?
Jane, everything's been taken away.
It's impossible.
There's nothing here.
What's going on? Gloria? It's Jane. I'm here for our appointment.
All the equipment. Where is it?
The locker room's been cleaned out too. Look, I don't believe this. I was talking to Gloria only last night at her flat. It's only a few hours ago. How in so short a time could they?
Oh, Jane. And you were trusting her. Didn't you say that? You had decided to trust Gloria.
Just shows how cynical you've got to be. Nobody's trustworthy. Everybody's playing a bent game.
I'm sorry. Maybe it's just Aussies again. The lucky country. The bastard country.
Is that what they say?
That's what they say.
All the same, the Aussies keep turning up for Charles and Di, don't they? And watching Coronation Street. The people with that sort of backbone.
Poor Jane. What will you do?
I suppose I'll have to go back to Inspector Lukakis. Oh, I'll tell you something else, Tony.
What?
The company of Marcus's that was investing in the holiday development, Mindy Investments.
Yes?
It turns out that's essentially a loan company. Now, why should a loan company be... Oh! Ow! Ow! Ah!
Jane! Dear God, that car! Someone grabbed Jane! Help! Didn't anyone see? My friend! My friend! She's been kidnapped!
Hear my mournful tale, I cannot half my grief reveal. No sorrow yet has been portrayed like that of the poor convict maid. Far from my friends and home so dear, my punishment is most severe. My woe is great, and I'm afraid that I shall die a convict maid.
Mrs. Dacre? Mrs. Dacre, you all right?
Oh, convict shit.
What are you talking about?
Mrs. Marcus. You're Mrs. Marcus.
Sorry my bloke stonged you one, but you were yelling a lot.
You. I was with Tony and you... It was you grabbed me in the street.
Yeah.
Why?
I had a couple of geezers from the station with me. They've shot through now. This is a kind of hut. Belongs to me. Even Joe doesn't know too much about it. It's a place I can come to when I want to be on my own or talk privately to people.
I dreamt I was on one of those old convict ships. Female transport.
Female transport?
Weird, isn't it? History's the kind of thing that reaches out and grabs you when you least expect it. Those unfortunate women, arrested for nothing, banished to a forbidding continent. They were ladies in the way too, weren't they?
Now what are you talking about?
Oh, my head aches.
Look, I figured you were getting in too deep, so I snatched you out of things to give you a choice.
Choice?
I can organise it so that you disappear clean off the face of the earth, if you like. Pick up your kids on the way. Vanish.
I'm in as much danger as that?
Your husband was before you, Mrs. Dacre. Haven't you woken up to anything yet? How else do you think he finished up with a skull full of lead?
It was murder, then.
You know my husband told you there was no drinking or smoking or gambling around Munjara?
What on earth has that got to do with anything?
Well, it's not a rule he sticks to by himself. When he's on his own, he makes different arrangements.
Goodness me, why?
I just reckoned you ought to know. Joe Marcus does things upside down. You need to understand it about him. To be a big man, he'll even crawl on his belly.
Meaning?
There's nothing he wouldn't stoop to stay on top. Okay, Jane?
Is it bad for you, Marge?
Eh?
Your husband. He lives in a kind of dream, doesn't he? Only a bad one. That you've got no share in, really. It's, well, darkness when it should be light.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just about the way it is. Joe lives in the dark. He wants to. It all began with Billy Boy.
Billy Boy?
Only kid I ever managed to give him. Some wife for a bloke who wanted to start a dynasty on the land, eh? And because of the way Billy was, Joe turned, well, hard. You never show it, though. Just cover it up. Wander off more and more into the dark.
If he couldn't have a normal family, he thought at least he'd have a rich and powerful one.
Yeah, something like that.
How sad, Marge.
Ah, forget it. Now, you take me up on my offer, will you?
To disappear?
Yes.
Can I use this place if I need it, Marge?
Hey?
This hut of yours. You say no one but you knows where it is.
Look!
John Singh. Is he part of the dark world, too?
John Singh? I don't know. I can't work it out about John Singh. Always so polite and considerate, but somewhere, just behind it.
That's what I thought, too. In the dark world, perhaps there's only one rivalry possible. How white is your sepulchre?
Come again?
This place is good and remote, isn't it? A hideaway in the hills. Giving to sheer cliffs on the south side, I see. So presumably the only approach must be from the north.
You're cracked. You can't win.
We Brits did win here once, though, didn't we? Which seems to have been an enduring mistake. History. Yes, it does reach out to grab you, in spite of yourself. Oh, and that's just what I need. Untamed Australia to the right and left of me and a storm coming on. Well, now what?
It is you, then. It is.
Inspector Lukakis.
I don't believe it. Half the New South Wales Police Force out looking for you, and you're just ambling along a mountain track as though...
What are you doing in these remote parts, Inspector?
Looking for you, goddammit.
Unrewarding work, I agree.
There was this anonymous tip-off. Woman sighted on her own in the Bolong Ridge area. Now, what happened? Apart from anything else, well, you had me worried.
You?
How did you get away?
Oh, that. Oh, yes, oh, that was a bit silly, actually. It seems to have been some kind of error.
What?
That's right, I'm afraid.
You're kidding.
No, I was mistaken for someone else. It appears that some...
Yeah, look, get in, come on. There's got to be a full inquiry on this.
How are you snatching me now?
You can't start a general police alert and then just turn around and pretend nothing's happened. For the last time, who was it?
For the last time, I don't know.
That's not true, Jane.
Oh, yes, feel free. Call me Mrs. Dacre.
Look, why won't you level with me?
Because I'm not being offered the quid pro quo.
The which?
I'm not being told anything about what I'm mixed up in, so why should I volunteer information?
How the hell can I tell you what you're mixed up in?
Is that a question or an evasion?
Come again?
Inspector Lukakis, are you on the take?
What did you say?
Are you being paid off to suppress information or see that it doesn't emerge?
Look, if you're seriously...
Mindy Investments, a lone concern. Why wasn't it asked at the inquest how it came to be funding the Singh Corporation, Inspector?
That had nothing to do with the case.
Hadn't it? Singh short at the ready on a project my husband was costing, and those John Martin cigarettes, shouldn't it have been mentioned just how hard they are to come by? No comment. Alan didn't smoke those cigarettes, Inspector, nor did he kill himself, so whoever left those stubs around is our man, whom you ought to be out apprehending.
Look, I like you, Jane. In fact, I'd like it to be more than that.
I do hope I'm misunderstanding you, Inspector.
But you'd need to stop poking into things, right? I told you, didn't I? We've got our own way of doing things here.
Oh, Inspector, if I'm to believe that true morality only begins at Sydney Heads...
You're mixing into something that'll only rebound on you in ways you can't guess, that I can't even start to protect you from because most of it is out of my hands.
A lot of it is in your hands, in other words. Yes, I see, I think. You're accepting a payoff in the belief that you're not significantly perverting the course of justice.
Look.
You think it was suicide, don't you? That as a result, certain people might as well be spared the embarrassment of a full investigation.
Your husband killed himself. He got depressed over money he'd appropriated for a woman and couldn't handle it. Why can't you accept that?
Perhaps for the same reason that you can, Inspector. Inner imperatives. Oh, we have police corruption in England too. We Brits really don't lag behind when we can help it, you know. But you seem to have more of it to the square policeman, so to speak. You said yourself the overseers on the chain gangs aren't Brits anymore. Well, who got the job, I wonder? The bush rangers? Well, the weather's followed me back to town.
This time of year, when it comes down, you'd wonder if the roof would cave in.
Look, I'll have to speak up. The crackle on this line and... Yeah, I got you, but why? Well, do something about it, you stupid Gallard. Do something. How do I know what you figure? It's truth. If I can't... Hello? Hello? Now what's happened to crazy Drongo? What am I going to do, Billy boy? What am I bloody going to do?
Dunno, Dad. Crook, eh?
Can't depend on no one anymore. Can't get no sense out of any bastard. Sometimes people in trouble are just too much damn trouble.
Yeah, Dad. You bet, Dad.
What have I done to cop it all, anyway? What's strife and muck-up doing hanging round my door?
Yeah, Dad. Dead right.
Life hands me a raw deal, well, I even it out, don't I? The way I got a right to, same as the wildcats and the dinkas and the bush. Only I don't need people nosing into all that, least of all people like this damn Mrs. Dacre, people in trouble.
Crook, Dad. Crook.
I tell you straight, I've got half a... Oh, look, son, I'm not feeling too good now. I better go through the den and have some of my medicine.
Yeah, one of them smokes too, eh, Dad?
I told you, they're for me asthma, those smokes. You play that game a while, that game you like. Up the ladders, down the snakes, okay?
Okay, Dad.
Yeah, well, I won't be long then.
Trouble. People in trouble. 4. Go up this ladder. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes people in trouble. Too much trouble. Yeah, Dad said it. 3. only for people in trouble. Gotta do what you can. Oh, you bet Dad said that too. So, for people in too much trouble... Oh, hey, that's a snake, that one. Oh, it's not fair.
Mrs. Dacre, why, you must be soaked.
It's all right. I got a taxi.
I cannot think why you should want to see me so late. Had you not insisted it was urgent...
What a wonderful apartment, Mr. Singh. Penthouses. They make so much sense in Sydney. High above the wonderful harbour. When you can see it through the rain, that is.
Please, what is it you wish?
You seem upset, Mr. Singh.
No, no. What is wrong?
You live here alone?
Quite alone.
Dangerous. You can get turned in on yourself. Cigarette butts there, I notice. When I didn't know you were a smoker.
Sometimes under a strain. Now, please, what is it?
Mr. Singh, despite all these evidences of wealth, which of course you despise, are you in fact hard up?
I beg your pardon?
You seem to have been borrowing from a loan company owned by Mr. Marcus. Why would you do that unless
You know nothing of these things. How dare
And
you...
what made you choose Junipero Fioretti as the name for the clandestine account you opened on behalf of my husband?
Junipero?
Fioretti. Oh, come, it could only have been you, couldn't it? But how, I wonder, do you, a Chinese businessman, come to be so familiar with Juniper of the Little Flowers?
Ah.
It suddenly hit me the other day. Juniper, well, a tree, I've been thinking. But why a tree? Then I remembered Brother Juniper, the stupid friar I read about at school in that strange mixture of medieval myth and history. The
Little Flowers of St. Francis.
Otherwise Fioretti. Quite.
Well, I was a fool. It was just a name. A false account was needed, out of which sums of money could appear to be paid on a regular basis to Gloria.
Gloria, ah, so it was you moved her into the act, was it?
She was in serious debt. I was able to help her.
Well, we make progress. You've been setting up my husband for a long time before his death. Then...
Not for what happened. I had no idea that in the end he would kill himself.
But he didn't.
Oh, Mrs. Dacre.
Why were you compromising him then?
There were irregularities in the corporation's affairs. You asked before, was I hard up to borrow from Mindy Investments? It was much worse than that. I faced bankruptcy, and that I could not endure.
But you despise wealth.
I can no longer endure to be without wealth. Yet, if your husband, as a cost accountant, had stumbled on what was wrong...
You needed the setup of the false account and dear Gloria to keep him in line. Of course I follow.
Mrs. Dacre, I told you once before that money was a drug. I think that was understating things. Money is a god. When I went back to mainland China after the revolution, Mrs. Dacre, do you know what I was?
No.
I was, in those days, a priest.
A priest?
A Franciscan priest. A follower of the good St. Francis and the stupid Brother Juniper. Oh, I had had a good Christian upbringing in Shanghai. By Chinese Christians, the communism of Mao was thought to be the enemy of God. A mission was therefore formed abroad, made up of young Chinese Franciscans who were to be sent back secretly, much as the Jesuits had been sent secretly back to England in the time of Queen Elizabeth. But of course, things went wrong. Some of us were captured, tortured. Some of us...
Yes, Mr. Singh?
They subjected me to terrible privations. I cracked. Is that the word? I traded information for the relief of suffering. But the information required was the names of all my colleagues in China and where they were.
Oh, Mr. Singh.
It was then that I learnt about God, I think. The God I truly worshipped. I had chosen sufficiency in preference to want.
You'd chosen survival, surely.
What do you think the crime of Judas was? To betray Christ?
Judas?
I wonder. Perhaps he could have been forgiven that. Betrayal is such an everyday affair. But what was not forgiven him was the worship of 30 pieces of silver. That was evil. It led him to hang himself. I did not have the courage or cowardice for that. So I merely returned to the world I had forsaken and worshipped my God. The God I had discovered I was serving all along.
You'd kill for your God?
No, I did not kill your husband, Mrs. Dacre. You must believe that. He ended his own life.
Ended it in an orgy of John Martin cigarettes.
What?
The same brand that you favour, I see. Under a strain.
Then Singh smokes John Martin's, Jane.
Yes, Tony. I want you to know because I daren't phone Inspector Lukakis about it. I no longer trust him.
Oh, Jane, you better pack it in. It's all too dangerous now. Come to my place.
No, it's too risky, Tony. My own house as well.
Then where will you go? You can't
I've got a place, a safe place. I'm heading there the minute this rain ceases.
Where is it?
Now, don't worry about me, Tony. I know what I'm doing. I was a girl guide for too long not to know how to get out of a tight spot. Oh, this phone box is leaking like a sieve, and I'm just about to run out of coins. Look, Tony, would you be sure to make... Tony? Oh...
Hello, Mrs. Dacre.
Wasn't that?
Seen you coming out of that building I did. Building where Mr. Singh lives.
Billy Boy. You're Billy Boy.
Your Dad went in there. Dad's worried about you, Mrs. Dacre. You're in too much trouble.
Well, you've got to do something. They're after her.
Who are after her?
You know, Inspector Lukakis. Jane reckons you know.
Look, I only came and picked you up because you sounded so frantic on the phone.
I am frantic. Frantic for Jane. And you know what she's mixed up in.
All I know is about a fiddle going on.
Fiddle? What fiddle?
The kind of thing that'd just be called ordinary business in half the offices in this town. So why should mugs like me call it something else? Singh was broke, so he went to Mindy Investments and Joe Marcus agreed to bail him out in return for a 70% stake in the Singh Corporation. Then Mindy funded Singh to go out and buy large tracts of land in the mountains. The price didn't matter, the higher the better. After that, Singh sold the land to Mindy at an even more inflated rate.
Why, for goodness sake?
To drive the property market wild, so that banks and institutions would invest in Singh and Mindy could cream off the profit. But the trick was to get out before the bubble burst. The holiday development was just to make it all look legit. I reckon Jane's husband must have... Wait a minute, what's this? Looks like a police barrier. Detective Inspector Lukakis. What's going on, patrolman?
Oh, hi, Inspector. We've had to cordon off, set up a detour.
Why? What happened?
A bloke fell from the 30th floor, right up the top there.
What?
Over here. There's no ambulance or nothing yet. I've just covered him with this blanket. You better see. There's no ID yet, I'm afraid.
You just got it. Put him down as a prominent Sydney businessman. Name of John Singh.
Good. You get out now, Mrs. Dacre. Get out. Go in that door.
Where have you brought me, Billy Boy? This is the docks. A warehouse.
Look, you move.
Look, this is silly. Your father will be angry. This is my car, Billy Boy. You just shoved me away from the wheel when I tried to... Ah! Yes!
Quick time!
Yes, of course, Billy Boy. Don't get upset.
You're in too much trouble, Mrs. Dacre.
What is his place, anyway? An old boat shed. Deserted.
Dad brings people here in too much trouble.
You're a good driver, aren't you, Billy boy? Yes. I had no idea you'd been so well
Oh,
trained.
you bet. I like driving. Driving's my best.
Even when it means doing bad things, like nearly running over a lady and her 2 children.
No. Dad said that no good. Dad mighty angry.
You mean it was you? Well, I'll be even angrier about this then. Don't you understand, Billy boy? If you hurt me now...
No. You're in too much trouble now. It's different. Like bloke before.
What bloke before?
Bloke Dad brung here. To this shed. Bloke with a rabbit gun. Bloke all bleeding.
You... Billy boy, are you telling me that...
Oh, step in that road. What's the turn up here?
Oh, well, good evening, Mr. Marcus.
Dad,
I'll make out where you got to, you stupid loon. Then I remembered Mrs. Dacre was supposed to have been around. Singh said. Suddenly hit me.
She's in too much trouble, Dad.
She's a woman, Billy boy. Now, what's the strong of this? Didn't I teach you nothing? A decent bloke doesn't beat up on a Sheila,
Well,
son.
Dad.
Look, he doesn't. Crikey, it was bad enough the time you went off hell driving, but this... I'll have to come down heavy on you.
No, Dad.
For your own good. No violet crumbles for a month.
Oh, hi.
Truth, a woman, I've said till I'm blue.
But she's in too much trouble, Dad. You said Mrs. Dacre.
Here, leave her be.
Oh, violet crumbles. They're my favourites.
Get your hands off of you, great killer.
Dad's not going to let me have violet crumbles because of you. Because of
You're doing,
you.
damn your addle brain boy, knock it off! Crazy half. We don't know what comes over him sometimes. I'm sorry, Mrs. Dacre. Real sorry.
I think morality may begin at Sydney Heads after all.
No?
What is Billy boy, anyway? Your right foot. You got my husband here by some ruse or other. Isn't that right? Then you shot him. You or your unfortunate creature there.
You
killed my husband in this shed, check. Then when he was all blood, got him back up to the mountains somehow, to the motel, to set up the...
Why don't you try and behave like a proper woman for a change? Strike when stupid females start messing in things that are a man's
The cigarettes were a mistake, though, weren't they? The cigarettes you tried to wish on a devout non-smoker are an identifiable brand.
You're spoiling yourself, do you know that?
Your brand. You dropped a pack in that little tussle with Billy boy, I think, on the floor there. Without looking, I know they're John Martin's.
Yeah, I see. Well, Mrs. Dacre... Come here, you interfering...
Leave me! Don't go back on your principles, Mr. Marcus!
Silly bitch! You think that makes any difference?
Remember, you don't beat up on women!
Look, I sort my affairs one way or the other. Like I did with John Singh. Yeah, he tried to mess me about too, you know that? Come on, Billy boy, now that the rain's gone, I'll catch that heap of hers before she's out of second gear. Billy boy, I said, come on, you mutton-head, I had to dong you. If you won't learn no other way. Billy boy. Billy boy.
Cold now. Dark. This hut of March is isolated, high up, perched on its precipice. Yes, I'm safe here. Alan? Alan, I'm so glad you're not guilty. I'm so glad they murdered you. I mean by that... Well, you know what I mean, my dearest Alan. What was that? Then, out in the bush. There's someone there. Trap, I said. Old girl guide trick. Dried twigs over a hole in the crack if someone steps on them. Well, think of that. What do you know? All those weekends in the New Forest not wasted at all. Someone stepped into my badger snare.
I suppose you think that's bloody funny.
What is it? Who's there?
You know who it is, Jane. And I'm not here for kids' games, I can tell you.
Gloria! What on earth?
Marcus won't lay hands on a woman, will he? Matter of principle.
Yes, I know.
What happens when it's a woman in the gun, then? Ask yourself, kiddo. Not too many answers. But call good old Gloria out of retirement for a start, eh? You bet. A woman in her proper place. In Stocken with no choice.
How did Marcus know where I was? Marge wouldn't have...
Marge? What's Marge but in Stocken with no choice? Marcus noses out stupid cows like us. Billy Boy got killed. Did you know?
What?
Split his skull on something when Marcus heaved him off you. And Singh took a dive from his penthouse.
No.
So you're causing death and destruction all round, Jane girl. Marcus is practically off his rocker over Billy. That means it's between you and me. They say money talks, but it yells, sweetheart. It yells.
Gloria! Gloria, wait a minute! Oh, this is ridiculous. You're no killer, Gloria. You... Oh, dear God. Singh dead. And Billy Boy.
She'll do it, Billy Boy. Gloria will fix her. Your old man still knows a trick or two, eh, son? Get rid of a meddling female by sicking another one onto her. Too right. She done you know, Billy. An interfering woman, it wasn't me. Well, no fear would I do a thing like that. You're all I ever had, Billy Boy. Everything. You know that. I never knew it myself before. Never knew no bloody thing.
Oh, right. Good and taut. Tie off. Reef knots. Oh, lucky I found that rope in the hut. Lucky I remember my Girl Guide stuff too. If this one doesn't work, well, I don't know, Alan. After this, Gloria means to kill me. Oh yes, no doubt of that. Money. It is a god. Singh was right, wasn't he? Money tells you what's right and wrong. Poor Singh, dying as he did. Dying so unfortunately. What? Oh, get a grip of yourself. Well, moment of truth at last, isn't it? Time to act. No choice. Right, Alan? Gloria's lying in wait, holding back till I make a move, so I've got to take the initiative, show myself. Just like a clever little girl guide, eh? Playing a bluff, fooling even Brown Owl.
Women will always back it up for you, Billy Boy. Bloody women. Why'd she even turn up in these parts anyway? What's a woman like that want, messing with us here? Tony accent, highfalutin ways. Hell, this road, I damn near. Oh, she's had it coming, Billy Boy. Had it coming. She's in the way. Gotta be knocked out of it. Clean out of the way.
I show myself. Slim shadow against the moon, just visible in a pale glow. Well, come on, Gloria. If we've got to do this, let's get on with the show. What are you waiting for? The video? Ah! Move! The cliff. Stop it, Gloria! You're hurting!
Don't waste your time struggling. I know all the holes.
Look, you don't want to do this!
I'll live with it.
Whatever he's giving you, it isn't enough. Now, don't be the stupid cow he wants you to be, Gloria. You owe me better than that.
I owe you nothing.
Get off! Ah! That's it. You've hit a hanging hazard, Gloria.
It's grabbing at me.
Hung down between the trees, you know. In England, we usually make it out of nettles. Here, wild ivy, exactly. So you blunder out of it and hit the wild pig trap. Sticks covered with leaves balanced over a drop.
Oh, God, it's getting worse.
Gloria!
No more Billy Billy!
Was there absolutely no other way? Oh, God, forgive me. God, help me. Oh, my darling. My darling. When I was a little girl in the New Forest, it was all just a game. Now that I'm a grown woman far from home, what is it now?
Mummy! Oh, Mum, it's you!
Oh, my darlings, it's wonderful to see you again. Have you been good off in the country?
You bet, Mum. We've been beauts.
What was that, Paula?
She means sponsor. No sweat, Mum. We've been Bobby Dazzlers.
Oh, yes. Yes, I can see you've been perfect little Australians.
I'll take them inside, Jane. Get some tea started. Come on, kids.
What are we having, Tony? Snakes on the barbie?
Does it worry you, Jane? Your children turning into Australians?
Inspector, thanks for bringing them up from the bus station. That was good of you.
You'll notice I didn't use a police car to do it. I'm suspended now till after the inquiry.
Will it go against you?
Hope for the best.
What would they do to you?
Oh, look, I got a good mouthpiece. Marcus not being around to be subpoenaed helps. Maybe I can swing it for just a fine and a caution.
Loaded justice. But of course, and we Brits taught you all about that, didn't we? Our trouble is, we led you astray, beguiled you with oldie-worldy pomp and circumstance, confused you with our posh accents. You find that mean-minded, a half-life. Well, I suppose you can't have it all, not shining Sydney Harbour and the murky Thames, not the old Dart and the lucky country.
You make it sound pretty hopeless.
Isn't it? Where yesterday, God help us.
And us?
God save the mark, Inspector. You're tomorrow.
In Lady in the Way by Bruce Stewart, Karen Ford played Jane Dacre, Anne Portas, Tony, Roger Leach, Lukakis, Bert Kwok, Singh, June Barry, Marge, Bruce Stewart, Marcus, Stephen Tompkinson, Billy, Mary McLaughlin, Kirsty, Sarah O'Keefe, Paula, Angela Phillips, Gloria, Anthony Jackson, Ross and the coroner, and David Goodland, the patrolman and the clerk. The folk singer was Samantha Howard. Lady in the Way was directed in Bristol by Sean McLaughlin.
The Dragon Man by Gary Disher. It's hot, it's nearly Christmas, and Hal Chalice has a serial killer to catch. On the Mornington Peninsula near Melbourne, young women are being targeted and murdered, and the perpetrator leaves no clues. A series of recorded messages taunting the police, along with a spate of deliberate fire setting, increase the pressure on the team to make an arrest before the holiday. But they can't find anything to connect the crimes with their only suspect.
There's some bloke pulling up. You've got to help me. No, he's driving on. But what if he comes back?
Now listen, get back in your car, lock all the doors and windows. Can you do that?
Yes, but hurry, please. I'm scared. After what happened to that girl, you know.
I'm sending a breakdown truck right away, and when you call off, I'll phone the police. Now, lock yourself in and stay calm, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
All right, I'm calling the police right now. Police? This is the Victoria Automobile Association. We've got a young woman in strife out on the Peninsula Highway.
Crime Down Under. The Dragon Man by Gary Disher. Dramatised by DJ Britton.
Boss! You there?
Hang on a minute.
Oh.
Gotta tighten this. Sunday social, is it?
Sorry, guys at Frankston said where to find you. Jeez, it's hot in here.
Yeah, still 5 days to Christmas. Doesn't usually hit 40 till after the turkey's burnt.
You could fry an egg on the roof of the shed.
Hanger. It's called a hanger.
No.
Pass me that rag. So, you taking up an interest in old planes or what?
No, But what is that thing anyway?
That thing, Detective Sergeant Destry, is an aircraft from the days when planes were more than flying multi-screen cinemas. She is, in fact, a 1937 de Havilland Dragon Rapide. And be careful how you speak about her, because this is a love thing.
It's made of wood.
Yeah?
Weird.
I find working on this old girl clears the mind. Whenever I'm stuck, I come here, focus on something I can touch, fix. Bit of a struggle with a fuel line. So, what have you got, Sergeant? Something more on the dead girl?
Not exactly, no. Boss, another young woman's gone missing, near where Kimberly Abbott was murdered, on the Peninsula Highway between Frankston and Waterloo.
How?
I've set up an incident room at Waterloo.
Right. Then we'd better get to it. Here's the Dragon Man. All right, listen. Now, some of you I've worked with before, some I haven't. Been to as many Victoria police stations as me, you kind of lose track. I'm Detective Inspector Hal Chalice, based at Frankston, the head of homicide for the whole Mornington Peninsula, which is why I'm here at Waterloo. Last night, Saturday, a young woman, Jane Gideon, made an emergency call to the Victorian Automobile Association from the old Peninsula Highway. She hasn't been seen since. As you know, the body of another girl, Kimberly Abbott, was found beside the highway last week, raped and strangled. So Miss Gideon's disappearance is a serious concern. Hence the all-hands call out on a Sunday. Sorry about that. Your station's CIB leader, Detective Sergeant Destry, has been listening to the VAA recording. Ellen.
Yeah. Long story short, Jane asked for breakdown assistance because the car's boiled over. They say a membership's lapsed and she'll have to rejoin.
Bastards, I should have sent someone straight off.
My thoughts exactly, Van. They're arguing about money when this happens.
Well, do you have a credit card? Can't you just send someone? Where exactly are you? I don't know. There's a site on a shed. 4 Square Produce. Oh, there's some bloke pulling up. You've got to help me. No, he's driving on. But what if he comes back?
Now listen, get back in your car, lock all the doors and windows. Can you do that?
Yes, but hurry, please. I'm scared. After what happened to that girl, you know?
I'm sending a breakdown truck right away, and when you call off, I'll phone the police. Now, lock yourself in and stay calm, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
All right, I'm calling the police right now.
Frankston police sent a patrol car. They found Jane's vehicle.
But no Jane, no phone, no signs of a struggle. Just gone. So, ladies and gentlemen, we start with a door knock. Not many properties in the area. Hobby farms, small wineries, few holiday lets. 4 teams working outwards from 4 Square Produce. Ellen's got the paperwork. Let's get to it.
Come on, Tank.
Okay. Yeah, here are your property lists. West of the highway, I've got Van and Tankard. Murphy, who's Pam Murphy?
That's me, Sarge. I'm new here, first day.
Okay, I'll put you with Scobie.
Yep, you got it.
Pigs, coppers, blue heelers, waste of space, the lot of them, puffed up pricks, scum. That first chick, last week, too easy. Drunk, stoned, hitching a ride. And the coppers, they don't know where to look. No idea. I can see them, sure, but they can't see me.
You think we've got a big enough team for this door knock?
Just about. Only a week till Christmas, so a lot of guys are on leave. Plus, there's been a spate of burglaries round Waterloo. Jewellery, cash, electronics. We've been working 24/7.
Right.
Yeah. Some car. Triumph TR4, right? 1964?
Spot on. Your husband, a traffic cop, isn't he?
Yeah.
So you know about cars?
Oh, not because of Alan. My granddad had a Triumph, 2.5 PI. Old bloke was a sucker for British engineering. But he was a pond himself, a £10 tourist.
This old girl's a mongrel, styled by an Italian, engineered by Poms, assembled in Australia.
Got a crack in your windscreen.
Yeah. One of your PCs tried to book me for it outside the station. Big fella.
Oh, John Tankard. Tank, they call him. Bit heavy-handed.
Right.
Yeah, we've had complaints, but they've teamed him up with Van. Sergeant Van Alphen.
I've known Van for years. He was around when I was training. Not averse to handing out the odd clip round the ear. But he's fair.
Van's old school. Goes on about how people don't respect us. No morals, no sense of community.
Yeah, that's right.
Wife left him a few years back. He blames the force for that too.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, hell. Sorry, boss.
Oh, no worries. Common knowledge, I guess.
Should have thought. Oh, whoa. Slow down. We're here. On the verge there, the Barina. Right. That's Jane Gideon's car.
Look at it. Could be any stretch of scrub on the Victoria coast. No distinguishing features, whatever.
Crows seem to like it.
Yeah, they would. So, imagine you're Jane Gideon. You work at the Odeon Cinema in Melbourne, you catch the train to Frankston and pick up your car, this little Barina. You head south down the Peninsula Highway, your usual route home to Waterloo. No street lighting, cloudy moon, very few cars. Maybe an occasional porch light, a distant farmhouse. It's a hot night, the car boils over. You limp onto the gravel right here outside this tin shed and you phone for help.
You're scared? And when some guy drives by, you get scared still.
Why do you get into his car? Gravel's not even scuffed up, look.
Maybe she found the man of her dreams. Right now, they're in his beach house, looking out over the Southern Ocean as love conquers loneliness.
I don't think so.
No, nor do I.
Ellen.
Yeah?
I put together the reports from the door knock west of the highway.
Oh, thanks, Van. You're a mate.
Yeah, knackered, mate. Double shift. I'm off home in a minute. Now, spare yourself some reading. Nobody heard anything, saw anything. Our girl just vanished. Family must be worried sick.
Yeah. You get going, Van. And switch your police radio off.
Can't do that, Ellen. I'm addicted.
Yeah, right.
Good night.
Yeah. See ya.
Sergeant Destry?
Yeah? Oh, Pam, is it?
Was Sarge. Since I've been at Waterloo, it seems my name's Murph.
Do you mind?
Been called worse things. Sarge, Tessa Kane from Peninsula FM is at the front desk. Says she needs to speak to Inspector Chalice.
Oh, OK, I'll find him. See if he needs to speak to her.
She says it's urgent, Sarge.
With the media, it's always urgent, Merv.
Anyone who can get to Quarter Horse Lane, we're getting reports of someone setting fire to mailboxes. Fire service is on its way. Can anyone take a look?
Van Alphen here, just heading home. It's on my way, Dale. I'll take a look.
Thanks, Van. Let me know if you need backup.
Will do. Burglaries and murders, now a firebug. The place is going to hell in a handcart.
Boss, Tessa Kane.
Ah, Tess, good to see you. What's this about? No, stay, Ellen.
This envelope was dropped through the mailbox last night.
At your home?
No, at Peninsula FM. I've opened it.
Let's have a look. A memory stick?
Yeah, with an audio file.
And?
Hal, it's from someone who says he's the killer.
And you left it till now to bring it in?
I didn't listen to it straight away, and Hal, Inspector Chalice, was out on the road.
Pass my laptop, Ellen.
Oh. No one saw who delivered it?
No.
CCTV?
On the blink, waiting for repairs.
Of course.
Right, here we go.
This is a message for the people of Victoria. I'd be losing faith in the police if I were you. They're running round in circles looking for me. What have they got? One body. And where's the second? Gone to a watery grave. And there will be a third. I got her in my sights.
My God.
Take it easy, could be a crank.
Sounds pretty convincing to me.
Says the journo wanting a story.
I brought it to you, didn't I?
He's done something to his voice.
Some kind of distortion device, yeah.
Think they can unscramble it?
Difficult. Pitch, tone, and possibly fake the accent. Digital forensics in Melbourne might be able to do something.
You can keep the stick. I've made my own copy.
Hey, you're not going to broadcast this.
That's my job, Detective Sergeant.
Tessa, you'll panic the whole peninsula. And like I said, it might be a crank.
He's talking about a third victim, Hal. People have a right to know.
We haven't even found a second body yet. Jane Gideon could still be alive.
You'd look pretty stupid if this is some crackhead with a grudge against the police, Tess.
Yes, maybe. All right. I'll hold off, but when you do get something, it's me first, yeah? And then I run the recording.
Okay.
And for now, can I say that you think Jane's disappearance may be linked to the first killing?
It may not be.
How? The whole state's scared. People are cancelling holiday bookings down here.
We're doing our best.
Yeah, I know. You by yourself over Christmas?
Oh, just me and the dragon.
What? Oh, I thought you were divorced.
His passion, his obsession.
It's my hobby. It's an old plane.
Oh, all right. Well, I just thought if you're on your own, I won't be going anywhere, not with this story. Maybe we can have a meal.
Very cosy.
Right. Yeah, I'll get back to you.
Oh, and, Detective Sergeant Destry, you being based here in Waterloo, we've been getting phone calls from people complaining about Constable Tankard. What can you say about that?
No comment.
I'll quote you on that then, shall I? Bye now.
Is that what they say in England? Bye now.
She's not English, she's Welsh. That's like calling a Kiwi an Aussie. This is all right, you just need to know how to handle her.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what you're doing, I suppose.
Right, thank you, Detective Sergeant.
But, if you want somewhere to go on Christmas Day, come round to my place. We're having drinks.
Come on, calm down, love. It's all right. It's only a mailbox. The fire guys have dealt with it.
They try to get me. They won't hurt me.
No one wants to hurt you. It's just some stupid kid. Done it to half a dozen boxes up and down the track.
No, you do not understand.
Come on now, come on. Shh, you'll be all right. Oh, yeah.
You hurt.
Oh, I burnt my arm on your letterbox. It's nothing.
I got stuff inside. Cream, bandage.
No, I'll be fine, I'll be fine. If you're okay, I'd better be getting along.
You're not gonna leave me. What if they come back?
No one's coming back. Look, I'll stay for a bit till you settle down, yeah?
Thanks. Van Alphen. Sounds Dutch.
Yeah. Been here since I was a kid.
Clara.
Clara what?
I have Chinese name. But here, I just Clara. You should know who's coming back.
Clara, it was just some kid.
I don't think so. No.
Alan! Oh! Lorraine!
Dad's gone to the pub.
What? Oh, just turn that down!
Oh. Some bloke he used to work with said it was too hot in the house, told me to stay here till you got home. Great.
Okay, You eating?
Dad got me some chips.
You want to watch some TV with me?
Nothing on.
No, you're probably right. You going to bed?
Yeah. Mum? That murdered girl, Kimberly,
Yeah.
was she bad? Did she do something wrong?
What? No. Well, she got drunk and hitchhiked, which is not clever, but no. She was just an ordinary girl.
What kind of creep would do that?
We'll get him, don't you worry. But you need to be careful, honey, all right? And, tell your friends, Did Dad say when he'd be home?
He said don't wait up.
Fine.
And he said he's on earlies in the morning. He'll maybe see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, morning, Ellen. Great minds, eh?
G'day. Takeaway flat white from the Waterfront Cafe. Gets the motor running.
Pretty good raisin toast, too. Do you want the rest of mine?
Nah, thanks. Too early. Can't get anything down.
Like those pellies, eh? A wonderful bird is the pelican.
Oh, his beak can hold more than his belly can, yeah.
You should eat.
Stomach's too tight. Oh, check my desk first thing. Uniforms of search, Jane Gideon's flat. Nothing much in their briefing notes, so I've got them with me. Here.
Thanks. Read them later. Look at those birds.
I've seen more pelicans the last few months I've been on the peninsula than I ever knew existed.
You think, how the hell can they fly, great lumbering lumps? What's their secret, eh?
Mystery to me. But then you want to take to the air in some old crate made of wire and wood.
He can hold in his beak enough food for a week. But I'm darned if I know how the
hell he can.
Too many mysteries, Ellen. Come on. Back to the office.
You haven't finished your toast.
Girls can have it. Here you go. Have we traced Jane's family?
Oh, yeah. North Melbourne. Followed a boyfriend down here to the naval base. They broke up. He sailed off. She stayed on.
Maybe she liked the place.
Maybe.
Do you?
Good days. I love it.
How about your daughter?
Lorraine's 16. She's happy to be miserable anywhere. Not so sure about Alan.
Ah, all good, is it? You getting promotion, the posting, him still in the cars.
Late marriage, late child. Alan's fixed in his ways. Says I've dragged him away from his Melbourne mates.
Oh, he'll get used to it. Nothing yet from the sex offenders register?
Oh, I persuaded the desk sergeant to put Pam Murphy on it. Oh, I forgot. They gave me this for you. Sent down from Frankston in the internal mail. Yeah. Looks like a Christmas card.
Thanks. Oh, yeah. Right.
Secret admirer?
Hardly.
Ellen Destry? Oh, God. OK, thanks.
What?
They found Jane Gideon's body. Devil Bend Reservoir.
The second one had to use my head. How to get her into the vehicle without a struggle. I saw her broken down on the highway, drove half a K, turned round, went back. She had her hand on her car door, about to get back in. Said a breakdown truck was on its way. I had to think quick. I said, "Who's that in the back of your car?" She said, "No one." I said, "There is. Close your door quick." She was terrified. I said, "Come and sit in mine till the breakdown truck comes." And she did. I had her.
God-awful place to die.
Watery grave, he said. I thought he meant the ocean, not some boggy reservoir. Oh, even the trees look defeated.
Yeah, swamp paperbarks and moonars. Like mourners at a funeral.
2 sets of gumboot tracks. They walk up to the body, then they walk away.
That'll be the kids who found her.
Which means she didn't actually die here. There's no tracks from her or from a killer.
So we killed her somewhere else, and he didn't get out of the car. Look, just threw the body out.
Yeah. See where the tyres stop? She's been pushed out the back, not out of a side door, so it has to be a hatchback.
No, the ruts are too deep, something heavier. SUV maybe, or a ute.
Enough tyre tread to get a plaster mould?
Maybe. In which case we've got a lead. A slender one maybe, but a lead.
No attempt to hide the body, same as with Kimberley. I reckon our killer's a show-off. He wanted us to find her.
Yeah, show off on a game player. He's reeling us in.
And if he is the bloke on Tessa's recording...
Oh, I'm pretty sure he is.
Then he's a narcissist and an egomaniac, and he'll do what he's threatening.
Yeah. Nothing more we can do here. We'll find a way in, Alan. There's always a way in.
Deck the shed with bits of wattle.
One pie later, one snapper and chips. Oh, what can I get for you, sweetheart?
I'm not your sweetheart, but I'll have a steak sandwich with beetroot, no onions.
Suit yourself, lady. Steak sandwich, beetroot, no onions.
Giving up on the health food, Ellen.
Oh, g'day, Van. Days like this I can't eat at all. Then midday, I'm running on empty, my body's screaming for fuel.
No, that's stress feeding. You want to look after yourself. You've got a daughter, right?
Yeah, age 16. Sometimes 8, sometimes 24.
Just average, then.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Van. Sit down. You getting a break over Christmas?
Yeah, I rostered myself on for the week.
Whoa, that's taking one for the team.
Well, someone's got to keep the country honest.
Big job.
I'll say. Hey, Boyd, bring us a cup of tea. Strong.
No worries, Sarge.
Can you believe it? Tank, he just tried to book the aircon guy working on the courthouse for parking in the wrong bay.
If he carries on like that, he'll start a new battle of Waterloo.
What? Oh, Waterloo, yeah. Right.
Okay. On. Voice record notes, December 21st, 2 p.m, Frankston Police Station. Let's recap. Victim 1, Kimberley Abbott. Weekend before last, she goes to a party in Frankston. Drinks a lot, takes some pills. Off her face, tries to hitch home to Waterloo. Last seen alive by passing car, Frankston end of the Peninsula Highway, feet in the gutter and a thumb out. Body found beside the highway 7k south of Frankston, raped and strangled. Perpetrator wore latex gloves and used a condom. Victim 2, Jane Gideon, disappears after a car breaks down on the Peninsula Highway, phones VAA for help. Some bloke drives past and then, we think it's the same guy, goes back. Pulls up beside a car. When the police arrive, she's gone. Only link between the two girls is the Peninsula Highway. Dark, lonely, unobserved. What we don't know, were they random? Were they targeted? What kind of killer have we got? An opportunist for sure, but an opportunist who's got the taste. Opportunist turned strategist. Who is he? How does he hide himself?
Here you go, my lady. Steak sandwich with onions, no beetroot.
But I asked
and
for
one mug of tea.
You keeping out of trouble, Boyd?
What do you think, Mr. Van Alphen?
That's Sergeant Van Alphen to you, son. And what I think is that your ass needed a regular kicking when I coached junior footy, and I still think it needs a kicking now.
Well, you try it someday, Sarge. Might get more than you bargained for.
Who's he?
Boyd Jolich. I've known him since he was a kid. He gets crap jobs like this in the seas, a bit of petty crime, bit of dealing. He lives a kind of tough guy fantasy. He's a waste of space, except he's a volunteer fireman. That's something, I suppose.
Big fella.
Oh, yeah, he would have been a good footy player if he'd spent more time training and less time chasing tail. He can't keep his hands off other people's property or off women. Oh, nectar. Hey, you're down Penzance Beachway, yeah?
Yeah, it was a weekender, but we're trying to make it livable.
Yeah, there's not much shade down there.
No, sun up, swim, and again in the evening, only way to cool off.
Yeah, family like the ocean.
No. Alan's idea of a cool change is an ice-cold slab of tinnies. Lorraine reckons all surfs are drongos.
Well, my girl, Cheryl, she'd be 23 now. She went when her mother left. Haven't seen her since.
That's hard.
Yeah. So when I think about those poor bastards losing their daughters at Christmas.
Keep your voice down, Van. Jane Gideon's not public yet.
Oh, yeah, sorry. And we're turning to a cruel country, Ellen.
Hey, shift yourself. Or give me a hand lifting this.
Looks like you're coping quite well yourself.
You want to put a leash on that Lampelar tankard? Trying to book me for parking. What am I supposed to do? Carry half a ton of metal from the other side of the car park?
Sorry about that, Mr. Hartnett. I'll have a word.
You know my name?
It's on the side of your van. Reese Hartnett, air conditioning.
Ah, you must be a detective.
Guilty, my lord.
No uniform. It's a big clue.
Sergeant Ellen Destry. You're fitting out the courthouse.
Trying to get it done before Christmas.
Typical. Courthouse gets used once a week. Lawyers and crims get the full cool treatment. Us poor coppers in the station 24/7 have to sweat it out. No aircon at home either. This heat is killing me. How much would it cost? A 3-bedroom place?
Depends. They're all different.
Could you come and give me a quote?
Well, better if you'd done it in the winter. Cheaper then too.
I wasn't here in the winter. I only moved to the peninsula a few months ago.
Look, I'll check my diary. Let you know.
OK, right. I'd be grateful.
Better get on now.
OK.
Sarge?
Yeah?
Nice abs. I picture him down the beach in a pair of budgie smugglers.
What?
Oh, sorry, Sarge. Brain-mouth filter lets me down sometimes.
You're not wrong, though.
Sarge?
Yeah?
I'm not sure, but I think I may have found something in the sex offender files. I've printed off the important bits and highlighted a couple of names. Do you want them now?
Here, thanks. I'm off to Melbourne to the pathologist, see what she can tell us. I'll take them with me. Look at them later.
Was on the highway, saw you turn off, thought I'd check you're okay.
Sorry. The house is a mess. I'm not having much of a day.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You were in a bit of a state last night.
Yeah. I do have my reason, Van.
Look, the mailbox fire, that was nothing. And if it's the murder hunt you're worried about, trust me, you'll be safe in your own home.
I heard that before. You'll be safe here.
What? Who?
I don't want... I can't talk about it.
Well, anyway, I've decided I'm going to keep an eye on you. But I can't help you if you keep secrets from me.
You help me by just being here, Van. You want something to drink? Coffee?
No, look, I just dropped in. I thought I'd... Oh, hell. I'm okay for 10 minutes, yeah. Look, if you got some tea, I'll have a cup.
Good. That's good. You know, when you gave me a hug last night, that was the first time anyone had touched me in a long while.
That's a shame.
Could you do it again? Put your arms around me.
Oh, I guess so. Here.
All right. Fuel line off. Hang on. Something's stuck in there. Bit of wire will do it. I gotcha. Okay. Connect both ends. And ignition. Yes! Oh, hell.
Roadside assistance, sir? Can I help?
Not unless you know the inner mysteries of the 200 horsepower Gypsy 6 Aero engine.
Oh, sorry. Now, if only you'd asked about the Gypsy 5.
There is no Gypsy 5.
Oh, busted. Just like you.
Me?
I just heard you found the second body.
Yeah?
Well, you were supposed to tip me off.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Well, it slipped my mind what we're trying to catch the bastard who did it. Oh, no, seriously. A deal's a deal. I forgot.
Right. Well, finish up here, and you can take me to dinner to apologise. And give me enough detail to keep ahead of the news pack tomorrow morning. OK?
Yeah, OK. Old Dragon's got me beat tonight anyway. You like fish?
You're very strong, Sergeant Van Alphen.
You are very lovely, Clara.
Was that standard police procedure?
What?
Making love to victim of crime.
No, I've broken a few rules there, I'm afraid.
You want a Dino?
Yeah, I would, thanks. Look, Clara, what's the story? Why were you so afraid last night?
Later. Maybe later.
How was your flight?
Fantastic. What kind of fish is it?
Shark.
What?
Gummy shark, to be precise.
I don't know what they'd say in my steak, me eating a shark.
Better than a shark eating you.
Well, that's true. I guess you know your way around all the restaurants on the peninsula.
Ah, you know how it is. You live alone, you tend to grab quick meals here and there.
Yeah, me too. But not usually in places as swish as this. How long have you been single?
Long enough. Look, Tess, I've told you all I can about the case, so...
Do you want to go somewhere for a nightcap?
Oh, I better not. I need all my brain cells for tomorrow.
Okay. I'd better get to the studio and prepare my package for the morning.
Just don't panic the whole peninsula, will you?
Warn, not panic. It's a public duty, Hal. Pity about the nightcap.
Yeah.
No, Alan, it's all right. I'm home with Lorraine. You stay in the city, grab a room at the station house. Don't even think about driving if you've had a drink. What? It's about 11. What? Yeah, okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, geez, Murph's files. Oh, God, where's my bag?
Nightcap. Nightcap. Bloody coward. Bloody fool. Right. Come on, come on. Briefing paper from the uniforms. Double check. Where is it? Oh, hell. Christmas card. Okay. Get it over with. My darling Hal. Don't suppose you're expecting a card from your wife, ex-wife, but you're all I have. God, Angie, no.
Two days till Christmas, and it's set to be another scorcher. Leading today's morning news on Peninsula FM, we have a breaking story from our chief reporter, Tessa Kane.
Thanks, Nick. Yes. Confirmation this morning that the body found yesterday at Devil Bend Reservoir is indeed that of missing motorist Jane Gideon. Detective Inspector Hal Chalice says there are clear connections to the snatching of Kimberly Abbott, whose body was found beside the highway last week. The fear is that we have a serial killer on the peninsula, and will there be more victims? Exclusive to Peninsula FM, we have an audio file from the man who says he's the killer. We're about to play this now, so if you're having breakfast with the kiddies, you might want to send them out for a minute. It's pretty scary stuff. Done that? Okay, so exclusive to Peninsula FM, here it is. Could this be the voice of the man who is terrifying the community?
This is a message for the people of Victoria. I'd be losing faith in the police if I was you. They're running around in circles looking for me.
Careful with that surfboard!
I'm sorry. Help! Sorry, it just got away from me. Oh, God! Oh, sorry, Sarge.
Swimmers get killed like that. Smack in the head and you're gone.
Sorry, I'm just learning.
If you want to get a promotion, either stop trying to drown me or kill me outright.
Sorry, Sarge.
Dead woman's shoes. It was a joke, Murph.
Oh, all right.
sorry, Sarge. And stop saying sorry, or the apes in the station will eat you alive. You got it? Yeah, thanks. You getting out?
Yeah, I'm on shift in about 40 minutes. There's a bus.
No worries. I just live up the road. I'll give you a lift.
Oh, thanks, Sarge.
Listen, those files you gave me, very interesting. Especially the stuff on one Lance Ledwidge.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I think we might pay him a visit. Come on. You can change at my house.
Yes, sir. No, sir, I do not think Miss Kane is trying to undermine the police. Oh, yes, sir, it's genuine, all right. Of course, yes, I'll keep you informed.
Macquarie catching you early, huh?
G'day, Van. Yes, Tessa Kane's broadcast has been picked up by the Nationals. Macquarie's ropeable. Managed to stop him coming down from Melbourne at the head of a posse.
We could do with some reinforcements.
Yeah, but not Chief Superintendent Macquarie.
Forensics call. They'll have something on those tyres later this morning.
Great. Do me a favour, I'm off to double check on Jane Gideon's flat. Get them to call me on my mobile.
No worries.
Lorraine, are you up yet? I've got Pam Murphy with me from the station.
There's no milk for me Wheaties.
And good morning to you, darling daughter. Pam, this is Lorraine.
Hi, Lorraine. You're not a swimmer?
Nah, too cold.
What, in December?
Lorraine surfs the net, don't you, Dal?
Yeah, I suppose.
Just grab my bag, Pam, and we'll get going. There's change in the drawer, Lorraine. You can nip round the deli and get some milk.
It's all right. I'll eat them dry.
Tip from an old hand, Pam. Always park one street away, then walk. Pull up in a paddy wagon and they'll be out the back door before you can say knife. And, well, gives you a chance to see how they live, yeah. Gauge the neighbourhood.
Looks to me like a handful of suburban streets from West Sydney transported to the peninsula. No trees, no grass on the nature strip.
Not completely without soul, Pam. Listen, kookaburras. Dad and the kids playing early morning backyard cricket.
A couple of years it'll be like Ramsay Street.
Nice white mid-range Holden or Ford in every drive. About as ordinary as you can get.
Perfect cover if you're not quite ordinary, like Mr. Lance Ledwidge. 3 counts of rape, 5 of procuring sexual penetration by fraud.
Released from jail after just 4 years.
Then he relocates down here. God, there's no justice, Sarge.
You're not wrong. Bloke who runs ads for young women to appear in an indie movie. Dresses them in a gym tunic for the part of a girl who's been sexually awakened by rape.
Oh, what a sicko.
Tricks 5 women into having sex with him, rapes 3 others.
Yeah, and one of them said he punched her and squeezed a windpipe when she fought back. And here he is, back living next to ordinary people.
With luck, forensics will get a good read on the Devil Bend tracks and Mr. Ledwidge's car will match. They're on their way here?
10 minutes, they said.
Here we are. Mr. Ledwidge's nice, clean 3 beds with games room.
Oh, bastard.
Keep it bottled, Pam.
Sorry, Sarge. Hey, check out the car.
Volvo wagon. Bit fancy, but it'll do the job. Body out of the tailgate. Try the doorbell.
Okay.
Now I've heard everything.
Yeah?
Mr. Ledwidge, can we come in? I'm Detective Sergeant.
I know who you are. Aren't you bastards ever going to leave me alone? You want to talk, we do it outside. I don't want the wife getting upset.
I'll bet.
Your bloke goes straight, and you mob lean on him till he dobs himself in for something he never did.
And you've gone straight, have you?
Now, that sex stuff was years ago. I'm finished with all that. I've got a job as a storeman.
Yeah, I checked that. Night shift to regular hours. Nice cover.
What is this?
Impressive set of wheels you got there, Mr. Ledwidge. Imported? You must have cost a bit.
You so?
What sort of tyres you got fitted?
This is crazy. I'm not saying nothing.
Not to worry. Forensics will tell us what we need to know. You own any other vehicles?
No. What is this?
You sounded a bit unsure, Mr. Ledwidge. You would know if you owned another car, or a ute, maybe. We can check with the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Lost my licence a couple of months back. You can check. The car's the wife's. Now, are you going to tell me what this is all about?
Abduction, rape and murder.
Me? No way.
I think you've moved up a notch. It's all their land. She started using violence last time at the end, yeah?
No, that part was never proved.
What about it, Constable? Do you think Mr. Ledwich has graduated, so to speak?
I reckon he might have, Sarge.
Not a big step from giving a rape victim a whack to dragging them into your car, then raping and strangling them.
No, like I said, the sex stuff is over. I'm married.
Yeah, poor cow.
You slag, I'll get you for that. I'll bloody come after you.
Have you just threatened an officer, Mr. Ledwich, or was that an admission that you like hitting young women?
You're putting words in my mouth.
Kimberly Abbott, Jane Gideon. You killed them, didn't you?
I never killed no one. You can't prove nothing against me. I'd have been working at the time.
Make a note of that, Constable. Check when Mr. Ledwich clocked on and off on the nights in question.
Will do, Sarge.
Ah, here comes forensics. They'll be taking the Volvo apart, Mr. Ledwich, so if I was you, I'd be very worried.
No, you got it all wrong.
By the way, if you really do mean to come after me, you'd better protect your eyes, your fingers, your ribs, and your balls if you've got any. Because it would give me great pleasure to have an excuse to hurt you, Mr. Ledwich. Because 4 years are nowhere near enough for what you did.
How?
Tess, I don't have the time right now.
I need to ask you something.
Got the bosses breathing down my neck because of your will there be more victims, malarkey.
Just doing my job, How? And you know it.
Well, you're not making my job any easier. Got the whole peninsula on edge.
If they're on guard, that's good. Anyway, that's not why I'm here. You seen these flyers? Under the wipers of every vehicle in town.
Being hassled by Constable Tankard and Sergeant Van Alphen. Don't let the fascists get away with it. Jeez. Register a complaint, do it now. What you gonna do, Tess? Run a 7 o'clock special on this too?
What do you expect? You want the media to keep quiet?
Look, there's a killer on the loose. Do you really want me to switch focus and deal with a couple of wooden tops? And yes, that is off the record and it better stay there.
Oh, take it easy, Hal. I can't ignore it. Everyone's got one. Watch now. Lady with all the bling from the solicitors by the real estate office comes out to her car, lifts the wiper, reads. Oh, big guy from the cafe lifts the wiper, reads.
Yes, I get the picture, Tess.
Well, I'm just asking, off the record as a friend, what you think I should do.
Simple. A message like this breaks the law of libel. It's defaming two men in writing. Repeat it on air and you're breaking the same law. And if you must know, off the record, I would not lump Van Alphen in with Tankard. Van may bend the rules a little. I don't think he'd break them. Now can I get on?
You want to cool down. Not easy in this heat, I know. Listen, Hal, dinner, that was nice. It'd be good to, well, meet up again.
Sure. Maybe when this is over.
Okay. I'll see you later.
You playing police liaison officer again?
Very funny. Seen these flyers stuck on every windscreen?
Oh, leave it to the uniforms. We've got enough to do.
How was Ledwich? Think he's our man?
He's a sleaze from the swamp, no doubt about that, and a woman hater, and I reckon he's hiding something.
Yeah, should have taken a bloke with you. Tank, maybe.
No need. I'll tell you what, either Murph the Surf's a very good actor, or she can look after herself as good as any bloke. Scared the cack out of Ledwich. We're checking the vehicle licensing. He says the Volvo wagon outside his house is his wife's. You get a read on those tyre prints yet?
Yeah. Lab says they're a bit unusual. Coopers. Imports. Off-roaders.
Oh, that's a start. Briefing at 5 p.m, yeah?
Yeah, can you take these inside? I've got to call Macquarie. Keep him informed.
Tyre casts? I thought they were with forensics.
I had an extra set, mate, so the team can see them firsthand. It might help.
OK. Boss, keep Macquarie informed, sure, but keep him away, please.
That's the plan, Ellen. I'll do my best. Careful with those cars.
Sergeant Destry.
Ah, Reese. Call me Ellen, please. How's it going over there?
Hot as Hades up in that roof space. Sorry I'm a bit sweaty. Look, I can do that quote for you tomorrow if you want. What time's good for you?
Oh, can you make it really early, before I come in here?
Well, I'm an early bird myself. 7 o'clock, OK?
Perfect. Hang on, I'll get my pad. I'll write down the address. Whoa!
Oh, Butterfingers. Here, I've got them. Plaster of Paris, eh? Wouldn't want to drop these. Hell of a mess.
No, thanks. A bit embarrassing. Here we go. Penzance Beach, not too far?
Nah, it's fine. Tomorrow at 7 then.
Sarge?
Yeah?
Just to say I may be a bit late for the briefing. I was on patrol with Tank, and one of his randoms turned up trumps. We stopped a guy for a broken taillight and found what looks like a bag full of stuff from a burglary.
So, okay, do we know him?
Tank does. One Boyd Jolich. So, Mr. Jolich, one lady's wristwatch, Citizen. One digital camera, Nikon SLR. One Visa card in the name of Anne M. Francis. $90 in cash. A Mornington Peninsula Library card, also in the name of Anne M. Francis. One pair of amethyst earrings set in gold. All in one rather expensive black leather Italian fashion backpack. These were found in your car when Constable Tankard and I stopped you for a traffic offence. How do you account for them?
Found them.
Oh, really? Where?
On a picnic table near the waterfront.
I see. All those things in a bag on the picnic table.
Yeah.
Strange. Because I spoke to Mrs. Francis. She confirms that the things in the bag were indeed taken from a house today. But not the bag. The bag's not hers.
Yeah, I should have said that. The stuff wasn't in the leather bag. That was mine. It was in a placky bag, just a Woolies carrier, you know? I tipped the stuff in the leather bag and chucked the carrier away.
I see.
Murph, this is Marion Nunn, Boyd's solicitor, across the car park.
Oh, yeah. I've seen you about.
Constable, you have no right to question my client without me being present.
Mr. Jolich said he was happy to answer preliminary questions. Said he had nothing to hide.
I'm sure that's true. However, his text to me said you were trying, in his words, to pin something on him.
No, Mrs. Nunn, that's not the case.
Well, then I'll take Mr. Jolich away with me, unless you intend to charge him with something.
Well, there's the matter of possession of stolen goods.
Yes, and there's the matter of interviewing my client without legal representation. So, we're quits. Come on, Boyd.
What about my bag?
What?
The bag. It's not part of the stolen stuff. I told her.
Constable?
Mr. Jolich can take the bag. The stolen goods will be returned to Mrs. Francis.
With my compliments.
Boyd.
What did you say?
I just meant I'm glad she got them back.
Enough, Boyd. Come on.
Just a minute. Mr. Jolich, do you usually drive round with latex gloves in the door pocket of your car?
Constable, I'm warning you.
Relax, Marion. Sure do, lady. Food preparation. I work in a cafe, don't I?
See, you do it once, you think that was easy. You do it twice, you feel like this is me. This is what I was made for. But the next, that's got to be special. Not some lucky accident. Drunken hitchhiker, stranded driver. No. You got to make it happen. You got to control events, yeah?
So, the chances are we're looking for someone who's self-focused, inward-looking. A woman-hater, certainly, although that can be disguised. Most likely, narcissistic. Conceivably someone with a grudge against the police or authority generally. As for the victims, there's no evidence that Kimberly and Jane knew each other. Their only link is that they were both travelling on the Peninsula Highway and were both raped, bludgeoned and strangled. We do have one lead, boss.
Yes. As he backed down to the reservoir at Devil Bend to dump Jane's body, the rear tyres of his vehicle left imprints in the mud. Forensics say they're Cooper's. An imported off-road tyre with a distinctive tread. They fit a 235 75-15 rim. Ellen has casts for you to look at and photos to take away.
We have one suspect, Lance Ledwich, a convicted sex offender. Details in your packs. The tyres on the wagon outside his house do not correspond to the Devil Bend prints, so we're checking to see if he owns another vehicle. We may be looking for a smaller four-wheel drive or SUV, a Jackaroo or a Pajero maybe. Yeah, yes, Van?
Helen, there's hundreds of those on the peninsula. I got one myself.
Yeah, you're right. So the tyres are the best bet. But our killer will have made a mistake. Left a clue somewhere.
Yeah, so we need to be vigilant. As you know, he's threatened to strike again. We need a breakthrough before that happens.
You're a mug, Boyd. We've got a nice little business and you risk it all for $90 and a camera.
Get off my back, Marion. You don't tell me what to do.
Listen to me. I do tell you what to do. That's my part of the deal. I find you the empty houses, and it's only me who can do that because of my partnership with the real estate guys. We go for quality properties with decent returns, not cheap earrings. And get rid of that bag. I don't want to know where you got it.
Yeah. You want to go to bed now, or what?
I prefer it with a bit of romance, Boyd.
You? Don't give me that. We both know what we're doing, Marion. But no one bosses me around, right? Now, you got something for me tomorrow night?
Yeah. A horse start up a lane off the highway. They've even given me photos.
Good. Oh, I left my hoodie here the other night, the bluey. Take it with me, it's good for the night stuff.
Yes, I wish you would. Stinks of smoke and petrol. What have you been doing in it?
Bit of fun with mailboxes. Petrol rides through the slot and whoosh, up she goes. You should see it.
It's a good job you didn't miss out in the body stakes, Boyd, because the brain is not your strong point, is it?
Hey, now?
Just joking. Come on.
What?
Bed.
Evening chat with the birds, Hal?
Helps me think.
Trying to second-guess the killer?
No, trying to be him. Get inside his skin. I find it easier if I'm by myself.
You don't like what I do you? I think you might like me, but you don't like what I do.
Sometimes I think we are what we do.
Then let's see if we can help each other a little, okay? Give me something, Hal.
Nothing to give, that's why I'm out here trying to think.
Not about him, maybe, but about the general threat.
There's a killer out there. Women would be mad to go out alone after dark. They shouldn't drive alone. They shouldn't hitchhike.
I can quote you on that.
Why not? It's the truth.
Why didn't it shut him down? Make him hide. Then you'll never catch
What do you want, Tess? More and more bodies dumped by the side of the road till we make a dramatic arrest?
Hal, I was just trying to see it from the viewpoint of an investigator.
Well, don't. You do your job, I'll do mine. Leave me alone, Tess. You're a distraction.
Oh, I see. That's what I am, is it? A distraction?
Yes, you are.
Fine. I understand.
Better get back to the station.
Right.
Like I said, you do your job, I'll do mine.
Yes, Detective Inspector. Oh, Hal? Hal, I think you've dropped something. Christmas card.
The sound of cicadas at night. You should use this veranda more.
Never really felt safe out here alone. Okay with you, though.
Strange choice for a smart young woman like you. Move to the peninsula, then to an isolated place like this.
It's family thing.
Good to be on the hill. Catch the night breeze. Reckon you could tone down that security light, though. It's a bit like a prison searchlight.
Dan, next time you come, don't come in your own car. Bring police vehicle.
What? Why?
Maybe it turned me on. You like me turned on, don't you?
Oh, my oath, I do.
Maybe you could wear a uniform, too.
Well, does that turn you on, too?
Yes, it does.
Oh, well, whatever you ask, you get.
Do you mean that?
Oh, you're the best thing that's happened to me in a long time, Clara.
There is one thing you can do.
What?
I get so lonely out here alone. I need something to help me, Van. What worked for me, if you can do it without getting yourself in trouble, is a little coke. Not much, just a line or two. I'd be grateful, Van. Very grateful.
Thanks for coming so early, Reese. Alan's in the shower. He says for me to walk you through the house.
Okay.
Hang on a minute. Lorraine, turn that down.
These cedar places were meant as holiday homes. Not easy to keep cool.
Oh, tell me about it. Alan's a bit worried about the money. Said to ask you about alternatives to full aircon.
Well, you could step up the insulation, maybe try ceiling fans, grow some shade vines up the side of the house, extend the verandas with shade cloth. Truth is, you should do all that anyway to keep your power bills down, but if you want to stay cool in this place, you're going to need aircon.
Fine. Just testing you, really. Making sure you're not just doing a sales job on us.
It was you asked me for the quote, remember?
Yeah, sorry. Alan's not the most trusting of blokes. Too long on the police force.
Oh, so you're both coppers?
Yeah. Anyway, laundry, kitchen, lounge room that way, bathroom through here, and bedrooms. Oh, Lorraine, for Pete's sake, put some clothes on.
So much for privacy.
Hot enough for you?
Who's he?
This is the aircon man I told you about.
Don't want him looking in here.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry, Reese. She's going through a rude phase. And sorry for the skimpies. She walks around the house like that. Maybe she'll dress properly when we've got aircon.
Listen, I've done quotes on tax dodge farms for cashed-up Brighton society cows, so there is not much I don't know about rudeness. Look, I'll drop the quote through your door tomorrow, yeah?
You sure? On Christmas Eve?
Yeah. Give you something to think about over the break.
Hello.
Hal, it's me.
Tessa, what the... Hal, I've overslept.
Hal, he's left another audio message overnight. I found it in my mailbox this morning.
At your home? You all right?
A bit shaken up. He was here, Hal.
Yeah. Stay steady, Tess. Have you listened?
He says he's done it, Hal. He's taken number 3.
Go to the station. I'll call Alan Destry and meet you there.
Yeah, okay, hurry, please.
Fine. Morning call. That's nice.
I bought you what you wanted. Early morning shift change. Gave me a few minutes to slip into the evidence room and get you a little white mischief.
Wow. That's special.
Yeah, so are you know that. You make me feel, maybe you make me feel like that Coke makes you feel.
What?
Well, they say love is a drug, don't they? Sorry, look, I'm being awkward, I know, but I'm not used to... Well, like I said, you are special. Oh, I tell you what, though, wouldn't take too many kilos of that stuff to buy this whole property. Australia's a gold mine for coke dealers.
I know.
Huh?
I was in the business. Used to be. My family back home.
Right. So what are you doing here?
I sent people to prison. My own cousin gave evidence, got myself pardoned. The deal was the authority get me out of country. New name, safe house. No one allowed to know, not even local police.
So it seems.
But the family are still after me, Van. I know they are.
And you think the mailbox...
It was warning. I sure of it.
No, Clara, it was a coincidence. Coincidences happen.
Do they?
Yes.
Anyway, I feel safe with you around.
Ah, is that what this is all about?
Not just, no. I do like you, Van. And I think I make you feel good, yeah?
Yeah.
That's good.
You're like the police, you journos. Stupid. Tessa Kane, small-town reporter. You said I snatched those 2 girls. Wrong. They got into my car willingly. Number 3 now, I did snatch her. First thing I saw was the reflective strips on her running shoes, picked out in the headlights just before dawn. Said to myself, I reckon she does that every day. So I waited for her, car under the trees, jacked up like I had a tyre gone. She stopped to help me, bent down to look. I had the jack handle in my hand, whomp, out like a light. Now that, big shot journo, that was a snatch.
He knows who I am, Hal.
Yeah, he knows who we all are, and he's laughing at us. Ellen, any women reported missing?
No, but there was this report overnight, maybe a connection.
What is it?
Car abandoned at the picnic area just out of town on the Peninsula Highway.
I know the place. It's a favourite spot for runners.
OK, Ellen, let's get out there. Tess, I'll get someone to walk you back to the studio and stay with you for a while.
Thanks.
Pam Murphy's free, boss.
Good. She'll make sure you're safe, Tess.
OK, Boyd, now listen. Tonight,
Yeah, I'll be fine.
make sure you look at your phone. I've sent you the address of the horse start and some photos. They're real estate interiors. Concentrate on the trophies. They're solid silver.
Sure, I've got it.
You know Quarterhorse Lane?
Yeah, no worries.
So, you go up the track that leads off to the right, where there's a house on the hill.
Yeah, I know it.
Well, Stud's in the dip at the end.
I'll find it.
Good. The owner's away arranging the sale. Someone's there during the day to feed and look after the animals, but they're gone by 6.
CCTV?
Just follow the instructions. You'll see how to disable the cameras. Now, how are you going to get there?
Drive? What else?
Not in your own car. I'll drop you by the new housing development. Cars are left unlocked there all the time. Use one of them.
Sure. I know that track.
OK. And you bring the stuff straight to me, yeah?
Yeah.
The abandoned vehicle belongs to Miss Trina Unger. Her parents live up country in Shepparton. They were expecting her last night. She didn't show.
They weren't too concerned to begin with, because Trina had always been a bit of a law to herself. But time passing, no reply on her phone.
And the Ungers knew about the 2 murders, so they called just as we traced her licence details. Trina's flatmate Denise last saw her 2 days ago, before she headed off to see her own parents. She said Trina ran every morning before it hots up along the bush reserve beside the highway.
Jesus, hadn't she seen the news, read the paper?
Apparently she used to run around the park, but got flashed out a few weeks ago, so she changed to the highway.
OK, thanks.
What is it, Van?
It's an update from the squad searching the picnic area, Hal. They found a discarded sweatband and an MP3 player.
Thanks for the coffee. I was supposed to be looking after you.
Coaxing a halfway decent cup of coffee out. The studio vending machine needs an expert hand.
How you feeling? You okay now?
Yes. Well, a bit of a shock. A bit close for comfort, but I'm fine. How do you find working for the Dragon Man?
It's all right.
Do you think he's attractive?
I hadn't thought. He's got a bit of history. His eyes, the way he holds himself. Might make him interesting, I suppose.
He doesn't think much of what I do, though. Reckons reporters are just after the limelight.
That goes with the job, doesn't it? Bit like the police. The bigger the job you're working on, the more attention you get.
I've been asked to do a national TV spot tomorrow. Hal won't like that. So, you think a bloke's baggage makes him interesting?
The truth is, with these murders, I'm finding it hard to think kindly of any man.
There are good guys around.
Oh, you haven't seen the sleazebag we've been questioning. He was hiding something, I know. But it turns out his car couldn't have been the murder vehicle. Wrong tyres.
Maybe he had access to someone else's vehicle.
What?
Well, I'm not a detective, but surely people don't just drive their own cars. Maybe he had a works vehicle or a borrowed one. A friend's maybe, or a relative. Well, that's obvious, isn't it?
Tess, are you okay here by yourself?
There's the reception staff, technicians.
Then if you don't mind, I'll leave you to it. I need to get back to the station, run some checks.
That's the part of this job I hate most.
Yeah.
Lovely couple, expecting their daughter home for Christmas, and then this.
They don't really believe it, do they?
No.
There's part of them that thinks they'll wake up tomorrow and find it was all a bad dream, that Trina's back in a bedroom and Christmas will be just like it's always been.
Yeah, and we have nothing to offer them. No prospect of finding the killer. Nothing from forensics, no witnesses, no common thread between the victims, no motive except he's a sick bastard who likes killing young women.
Steady, boss. Like you said. We'll find a way in. What you got there, Murph?
Electoral roll for the new housing development where Ledwidge hangs out. I want to see who lives in the other houses.
But you're supposed to be keeping an eye on Tessa Kane.
Oh, she's fine, boss. I left her in the newsroom. The studio crew have promised to keep an eye on her.
You all right in there, Tess?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Just a bit, I don't know, bored.
Yeah, well, you stay there. Better safe than sorry. Whoops, gotta go. On air.
Oh, right. Oh, crossword. Hal's Christmas card. Oh. My darling Hal, I don't suppose you're expecting a card from your wife, your ex-wife, but you're all I have, Hal. Prison's not meant for people like me, Hal. I'm not a bad person. I didn't even do anything bad. Just let it happen. Let him make the plan. Conspiracy to murder. How could I do that? Married to you all those years, and I would have let him kill you. I hope you can forgive me, Hal. You're all that I have. You're still my only lifeline. I wish you'd talk to me, Hal. Visit or phone, please, Hal. Happy Christmas, Angie. Wow.
I've had an idea. Sarge, you thought Ledwidge was hiding something.
No question.
What if someone nearby's been lending him a vehicle?
Possible. We could do a door knock of the whole estate.
No, there must be 1,000 people there. Unless you were lucky enough in the first house, they'd be off in a blink. Better to narrow the target.
That's what I've been doing. Looking for anyone with a link to Ledwidge.
But nothing yet.
Not yet.
Keep at it. What time is it?
9 o'clock.
You two eating?
No.
Right, I'll send out for some Chinese.
Oh, Christmas treat, is it?
Hey, what do you want? Turkey and roast spuds?
Boyd, what is it?
I thought you said there'd be no one there.
I was supposed to be away.
There was some woman. I think she was babysitting the horses.
Oh, jeez, did she see you?
Don't think so. I had my hoodie and scarf. Reckon she won't remember much anyway. I gave her a real lemon.
You did what?
Had to smash her in the face a couple of times. What else was I supposed to do? She'd have phoned the cops.
Oh, what have you done with the vehicle?
Took my clothes off, chucked all my stuff in and torched it. You still want the silver?
What?
From the house.
No, get rid of it. And you're not to come near me or call me until I tell you. Did anyone else in Quarter Horse Lane see you?
Not sure. That house on the hill near the turnoff? Some kind of security light came on when I went past, shone right in my face.
Oh, for Pete's sake, Boyd.
Don't worry. I'll fix it.
Murph! Trespassing on my morning patch again. Any luck with that electoral roll?
Yeah, about 5 a.m. I found something.
Oh, you worked through the night?
Yeah, and I came straight down here. Knew I'd find you here.
So, what have you got?
4 streets away, Ledwidge's sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Her husband, Petty Crim, bit of previous for selling dodgy DVDs. He has a Pajero 4x4 registered to his name.
Bingo. Well done, Murph. I'll call the boss.
Okay, so we need to turn the screws on Ledwidge.
Should we bring him in?
Yeah, and we need to talk to his sister-in-law.
And her husband, boss.
Yeah, we need that Pajero. If we're really lucky, he won't have changed the tyres and they'll still match the tracks at Devil Bend. Just a sec. Van?
Yes, Al?
Looks like we're closing the noose on Ledwidge. I'll need Alan and Murph. Call's just come in from the fire guys. Could you take a look? Probably just kids again. If there's nothing, I could use your help back here.
Sure, where is it?
Quarter Horse Lane, place that had its mailbox done last week.
Right.
You all right, mate?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get out there right now. See you later.
Hey, look on the TV. That's Tessa Kane.
Oh, yeah. Turn the sound up.
And behind me you can see photos of the 3 young women, Trina Unger here, Jane Gideon, and the first victim, Kimberly Abbott. Police say they have some leads but are reluctant to give details for fear of alerting the perpetrator to their lines of inquiry. Meanwhile, the whole Mornington Peninsula is in panic at the prospect that this killer
Press
will
pause.
strike again.
Look at her. Kimberly.
What?
That leather bag. It's the one Boyd Jolich had his stolen stuff in.
Good God, you're right. But surely Jolich has got nothing to do with Ledwidge.
Bring in Jolich. Find him and bring him in.
Hello, Control. This is Sergeant Ben Alphen.
Hi, Van. What's up?
I'm at Quarter Horse Lane. Can you get hold of Detective Inspector Chalice? Tell him this fire, whole place has gone up and there's a body.
Will do, Van. Anything else? Do we know the deceased name?
Her name is Clara.
So, Mr. Ledwidge, why didn't you tell my colleagues you had access to another vehicle?
Like I said, I'm banned. Although I didn't want them to know I was driving illegal.
We've spoken to your sister-in-law. She says the car's been stolen. She didn't report it because she wanted her husband to have a word with you first.
Piece of piss he is.
Where's the car, Lance? Make it easy on yourself, mate.
Listen, Copper, I have no idea where that car is. You hear me?
Boss, a word.
Sure, Constable Murphy, you carry on.
Hey, you're not leaving me with her.
What's the matter, Ledwidge? You afraid of someone who might fight back?
They found the Pajero, boss. Incinerated.
Oh, hell. Tyres?
Burnt to black dust. But they sent over a bag of stuff found in the wreck. Look at this.
What's that?
A metal Gucci badge. Like the one on Kimberly's bag. You want to swap? You have a go at Boyd?
Yeah. You take Ledwidge back to his place and serve him with this.
A search warrant?
Like you say, that sleaze is hiding something. Turn his place over. He's connected in some way.
What they don't understand, these people who want to run everything, want to run my life, is that they're nothing more than ants running around doing stuff like everything they do is important. But I watch them and their stupid games, and I know they are dead scared that someone like me has the brains and the nerve to break their rules. I kill because I can, and because I know they can't stop me. They think they're closing in on me. They're grasping at air. One more lesson. They need one more lesson.
Say nothing, Boyd. Chief Inspector, I protested the way my client has been treated.
Miss Nunn, my colleagues have told me about you.
And what precisely is Mr. Jolich accused of?
Nothing. We would, however, like him to explain how the badge from a bag he claimed was his was found in the wreckage of a burnt-out Pajero.
That's easy.
Shut up. Mr. Jolich has no idea.
Don't you tell me to shut up, Ken.
Mr. Jolich is suffering from stress and bullying at your hands, Inspector.
Nobody bullies me. Not them, not you, you old shagbag. Listen, I found the car, keys still in it, yeah? I admit I took it for a joyride. Must have had a lecky fault, burst into flames on me.
Sure. And my guess is that you torched it. But I don't care. I don't care about the car.
Boyd, don't say another word.
Oh, shut up! So if you don't care about the car, I can go, yeah?
No, what I'm interested in is what you've used the car for and how you came by that badge. I've been looking at your record. Yeah? Small-time break and entering, bit of random violence, sexual harassment, but I reckon you've just moved into a different league, Boyd.
Only because this cow told me to.
What?
Shut up, Boyd. This interview is over, Inspector.
No, it's not. I say when it's over. This cow lined me up with the burglaries, used her real estate contacts to show me which places to hit, treats me like her slave, and now she's going on like I got no brain. Well, if I'm going down, she's going down too.
You idiot!
Enough. Quiet, both of you. We'll get back to the break-ins later. For now, Mr. Jolich, I want you to tell me how you came to have the bag belonging to Kimberly Abbott in your possession. Who? Kimberly Abbott, the girl you raped and murdered, like you raped and murdered Jane Gideon and Trina Unger.
I've never done that.
Kimberly Abbott's bag says you did.
No. All right, I nicked it from a house.
Where? Which house?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Think. Think hard.
On the new estate. I don't know. It was dark.
Boss, is Ellen on the line?
Give me that. Ellen?
Boss, help. Lorraine's gone missing.
What?
Ellen phoned. She left school to walk home. She's disappeared. He's grabbed her. I know he has. He's taken her.
Steady, Ellen. Are you at Ledwich's place yet?
No, on our way.
Okay. Meet me in the next street, the one nearest the highway. I'm on my way now. And Ellen, hold on. We'll fix this.
Be quick.
Murph, cuff this drongo. He's coming with us.
Sir?
I need help, Pierce. Someone to take Miss Nunn to the cells.
You can't do this, Chalice.
You shut up. Take her.
Get up. Get up. Come on, Jolich.
Where are we going? We're going to find that house. So get thinking, Boyd. Anything. Curtains, car outside, mailbox, power pole. Think. Tank, we need an unmarked car, now!
Come in van, urgent call.
I'm still at Quarter Horse Lane. Forensics just arriving.
Message from Inspector Chalice. Big development on the murders. He wants you with him.
Oh, I don't know. I ought to stay here.
Van, Chalice said it's urgent. Better do what he says.
Yeah, okay.
If he's touched her, if he's hurt her...
Take it easy, Ellen. Get in. Murph, you drive.
Sir?
Tank out of the car, radio your position to Sergeant Van Alphen and wait for him here.
What's Jolich doing here?
He can confirm we've got the right house. I'll explain later. Okay, Murph, take us past Ledwich's place. Slow enough for Boyd here to get a good look.
There. The house on the corner. That's Ledwich's.
You recognise it, Boyd?
Oh, for Pete's sake, let's just get in there.
That's not the house I broke into, no.
He must be.
Are you sure?
I remember I got in through the dunny window under the carport. That one hasn't got one.
Hell.
Sir, his sister-in-law's place.
Yeah, try there.
For God's sake, move it, Murph.
Van, Tank. Chalice says to get yourselves round the back of the reserve. Block off any escape on foot.
Will do.
The sister-in-law's place is down this street and right at the bottom.
Wait, stop, there. That's it there.
What?
The house I found the bag.
Stop, Murph.
That's it on the corner.
But it can't be.
Carport at the front, roller door garage behind it, and that big steel thing on the roof.
You're sure?
Dead set I am.
Come on!
Open her up!
Kick it in, boss.
Here, let me.
Police, come out with your hands above your heads. Check all the rooms.
There's no one here, sir.
Lorraine!
Back door's open. He's gone.
What's through there?
Lorraine!
Go! There's someone in the truck.
Let me.
The boss behind it. Toolbox, crowbar or something.
Here, try this.
Lorraine! Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling. Here.
Mum. Oh, Mum.
Sweetheart. Boss, look at these.
What are they?
Those magnetic tradesman signs for the side of the van.
Reese Hartnett Air Conditioning.
What? It's the aircon guy.
Yeah, it's him.
How's Van? We got him. Tried to leg it across the reserve. Tank took him down. Leave it, Tank. He's had enough, Tank. Tank, I said leave it.
Interview with Reese Hartnett, under arrest for the suspected abduction, rape and murder of Kimberly Abbott, Jane Gideon and Trina Unger, and the abduction of Lorraine Destry. What do you want to tell us, Mr. Hartnett?
You're pathetic, Chalice. You, Destry, the sergeant who needed his attack dog to get me down. If you'd had any brains, you'd have called me after the first kill. But you don't need much up top, do you, to get into the police? Even less if you're a woman. Got a Mensa score? Have you, copper? Mine's 160. Hey, where you going?
You're boring me, Hartnett. I'll send someone else to take your statement.
Boss? Hal? There was a call for you from the women's prison.
Right. Thanks.
Your wife?
Ex-wife. Probably you.
They said you could call her back.
Sure. God, I'm tired, Ellen. Just tired. How's Lorraine?
Doctor's given her a sedative. Partner didn't... He hadn't... Thank God.
Yeah, I know. Give her time, she'll get over that. Well...
The horror.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Ellen. We should have got to him earlier.
No. My fault. If I hadn't let Hartnett know we had his tyre prints...
Did you?
Yeah. When you gave me those plaster casts to carry, I let him help me with them. He must have realised it. Changed his tyres straight away. Yeah. I had no instinct about the guy. And then that stuff at his house.
Mementos. Each of his victims, hence the Gucci bag.
And those audio files. Oh, it's horrible. I missed it, boss. I had no instinct. I thought
Your
Ledwidge...
instincts weren't wrong about Ledwidge. He was trying to hide something.
Yeah, a garage load of sicko porn DVDs him and his brother-in-law were distributing. Murph enjoyed taking his statement.
I bet you did. How do you spot the bad pelican, Ellen?
Dunno. You watch till you see him doing something bad, I guess. And pray you're not too late. You going home?
No. Top down in the Triumph, blow the crap away, and then a couple of hours of the Dragon. You?
I'm going to sit at home with Lorraine and hold her hand.
Good. That's good.
Hal? Hal?
Oh, Van. I wonder when you'd turn up. You got something to tell me about Quarter Horse Lane.
Yeah. Look, we've known each other for a long time, Hal.
Boyd has admitted setting fire to the place. Says he didn't mean to kill Clara, just wanted to warn her off because she'd seen him driving away from the stud burglary. He says she went for him with a kitchen knife.
Yeah, well, she was terrified, Hal. Clara thought a drug gang was after her and...
Boyd hit her. She cracked her head and that was it. Lit the fire to cover his tracks. Your car was seen there, Van. Night after night.
She needed looking after.
Yeah. Apparently there's some coke missing from the evidence room.
Hal, I know. I know I've been a fool. She was using me. But she did like me. I think she did.
Yeah. Well, I'm a homicide cop and a homicide solved. So go home, Van. Christmas Day tomorrow.
Weather's due to break. Cold change on the way.
Ellen reckons she's still doing Chrissy drinks. Neighbours and their kids and all. You'll be there.
Might as well. You?
Couple of beers. Bit of backyard cricket. I can still turn a mean leg break.
Right. Well, see you there then.
Sure. See ya.
Hal?
Yeah?
Thanks, mate.
No worries. Right, you old dragon, let's give you a spin. Ignition.
No, you beauty!
Hello? Just a minute, I'll kill this noise. That's better.
Hal, it's Tess. Look, I wondered if you're not doing anything, how about a meal? And then maybe a nightcap.
Tell the truth, Tess, I don't really fancy a meal tonight.
Oh, okay.
How about we cut straight to the nightcap?
Yeah, I'd like that. My place.
Yeah. Be there in half an hour.
In The Dragon Man, Hal Chalice was played by Richard Delane and Ellen Destry by Penny Downey. Van Elfen was played by Mark Little, Pam by Jordan White, and Tessa Mally Harris. Clara was Fiona Marr, Lorraine, Kerry Goodison, Boyd, Dan Hunter, Marion Mafreda Hayes, Lance Ledwich, Phil Mackenzie. And Reese Hartnett was played by Samuel James. Crime Down Under, The Dragon Man by Gary Disher was dramatised by DJ Bridges.